And now, to avoid copyright on the VOD, welcome to the Nerd³ Podcast!
Yay! Shouldn't have missed that. It was amazing. John's a bit odd.
I was really into Pokemon years ago. Yeah. And then I really liked the games up to like the 4th generation, then I kind of fell out of it completely.
Everyone did, apart from swap 4th generation for 2nd generation. Hey, should we talk about Pokemon Go?
You want to talk about Pokemon Go?
I want to talk about Pokemon Go because now Pokemon Go is out in this country and I've played it and I can now review it properly. Here we go.
That depends what day you reviewed it on.
Well, I played it on a day when I've now actually been able to get my account because they let you create an account on the Pokemon Club with any length password you want, but you can only put in a 15-digit password.
Exactly 15.
Exactly 15 or lower.
Right.
Which means that my standard password, 128 characters plus, was accepted to create the account, but I couldn't actually use it to log in. And after 5 failed attempts, you just get locked out for 15 minutes. So I couldn't go through and take 15 chunks, 15 character chunks from it. So I eventually ended up having to make another account that didn't work for another reason, but my 3rd account worked.
Yay! So then the servers crashed.
Well, by this point, the servers were doing okay, so I can now review Pokemon Go. Right. I would like to point out, playing for the first time, Pokemon Yellow, because I kind of fancied playing a good Pokemon game while I was waiting for this one to sort itself out.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
Yes, because you know the worst bit of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow was the Safari Zone. What they did with Pokemon Go...
I'd say the slow movement speed was worse.
Oh, it did. Well, there's a much slower movement speed in Pokemon Go, if you me. But what's worse, what they did was they went, hey, you know the Safari Zone? Let's get that. Let's take that area, take out the ability to throw rocks, and make that the entire game. And that's Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is the worst Pokemon game. It is unarguably the worst Pokemon game. When you just take the actual game section of it, it is the worst Pokemon game.
Experience-wise.
However, I thoroughly enjoy watching people play it on the outside, and it makes me incredibly joyous to watch people living in this little virtual Pokemon world. When I see people running around just swiping the thing, I'm like, that's beautiful. It feels like it's everywhere. And I'm quite a fan
of a lot of people that sort of using it as an icebreaker. A lot of people
they
playing
are
like these awkward teenagers, and they're just going to places, single other people play Pokemon Go, and it's an icebreaker, and they're making friends.
Have you seen Jim Sterling's take on Pokemon Go by any chance? I think you and him have very similar views.
I'll watch Jim Sterling take anything, alright?
I've only watched the first 3 minutes because he's talking about Maya Nashins' Pog video in the start, and that's why I had time to watch. I haven't got around to watching the rest of it. But I
think it sounds like you and him are very much in line.
We are, in every single way, darling. But I love that the people and the friendship and stuff they're building, but the game is so much worse than I thought it would be. And I think the sad thing that I'm thinking, and I'm going to make one of my predictions here, is that is going to be the thing that kills this game, is that they haven't actually built a game for it yet, and people are going to lose interest very quickly. Because there isn't actually a game there yet. You can... wander around and do all your leveling and your...
Can you battle, other people's Pokemon? Because I feel like...
No, just at gyms.
Not yet.
You sort of leave a Pokemon at a gym, kind of, and then you can go battle that. But it's not really a battle. You sort of you just flick left and right and up, down sort of thing to attack and then dodge. So there's no real sort of gameplay or battling to it.
There's a little bit of tactical advantage from the elements. If you know your element charts, you can give yourself a bit of an advantage.
I feel like if... you could meet someone and be like, "Hey, we're both in the same place," and tap on their thing and then battle them.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That seems like a weird oversight.
The only nice thing is if you simultaneously get multiple people to attack a gym, you're much more effective at it because the defenders I think can only attack one of the attackers at once.
But that seems to be the only gameplay to it, though.
Yeah, that is literally the only gameplay, and even that is flawed because if I started playing Pokemon Go today. And I wasn't playing it consistently, I was playing it as a casual person, I can't actually take part in gym battles.
Gyms need tiering badly, because there's a gym near me that was just taken over by a level 22 guy with a 2000 CP plus dragon. I said, that belongs to him now.
I live in the middle of nowhere, so there's no Pokestops here, and there is a gym a while away. But that gym is now so many levels above and beyond what I could get to, that like the actual gameplay is now entirely gone for me. I could go around and catch the Pokemon, but there's literally no point because they have no point.
Gyms just need tiering. That's kind of the first thing I thought when I was kind of playing gyms, which is there needs to be, once you pass, say, level 10, you move up to the next level of gym. And the gyms are in the same place, but then you only fight the other people who are in the same level rank as you. If you're under level 10, you're only fighting other people under level 10, so it stays fair.
That's a nice idea. I kind of thought you could do sort of actually give out badges. Have a little thing of, if you can beat a gym, then you get a badge. So you actually have something to work towards. And actually have, like, you actually try and collect as many badges as possible. So you can actually see, like, you can go to someone and they would like randomly generate a shape or something that's exclusive to each gym, which you could probably do quite nice and easily. And then every gym would have these different shapes and stuff, and you could then organize and display your favorites. And then you'd actually have sort of as much as it's still, but that like the battle for that gym would not be a like you could choose to fight whoever owns that gym or like the set rank for that gym.
Yeah.
So you have like if you beat that person, which levels up sort of with you, so it's quite a difficult fight. But if you can beat that person, then beat that AI, then you get the gym. Which would be nice. That'd be something to do. But at the moment, it's just a completely goalless thing where catching Pokemon is absolutely pointless. And I mean, it's very quick. The novelty is worn off for a lot of people.
Someone's pointed out that it's a social network on a game.
It is, yeah, but no, because there's no communication between characters. It cannot be classified. I've seen a lot of people say it's more of a social network. No, it is literally just an ice-breaking app at this point. Yeah. But the fact is, I don't like Pokemon enough to make friends who are into Pokemon.
It's Pokemon Tinder.
Sort of.
What works very nicely right now is because there's enough lures going off all over the place that actually people can sort of gather in a cluster of lures, and you can actually get a vague sense of community and liveliness from looking at the map and then going there and seeing all the people.
Yeah, that's
only happening because there's been a huge number of people who have just joined it, and they're getting free lures from like leveling up from your first 10 levels, when leveling up happens quickly and lures are tossed at you every time you level. Well, not every time, but every few levels you get a new lure. Once that massive influx of new people getting free lures is in, and the only people activating lures are the people who have to buy them, there'll be way fewer lures going around, and all of a sudden it will look a lot quieter.
Yeah,
I think like the game is benefiting from a huge influx of people getting free stuff from leveling up, and that's going to fade quickly.
How are microtransactions done in it? It's free to play, isn't it? It's free to play, isn't it? How are microtransactions done in it?
I think you can actually. I think it does it fairly well, because I think you can have a pretty good experience without paying any. Like, I've never been tempted to pay any money. I've never felt like if I were paying money, I'd have a better time.
Can I argue a point there? I really need to argue a point that I don't think you can have a good experience playing this game at all for the game itself.
If you're casual about it,
I don't think they add anything. Because I don't think they like. I don't think there's anything that they could add, because at the moment the game is. It's not even bare bones. It's not even boned. It's a rough sketch of a bone. Servers are down. I kind of wanted to put up to tell you how many Pokemon were around me.
I mean, servers being down is... Well, this is another problem with it, isn't it? Because they got a lot of people in the first place, and they were like, oh, we'll get set up more servers, and they just... They know it's popular, and I don't know why they haven't accounted for that in their sort of...
I know the answer to this. This is the same reason that a lot of game people, like when the game comes out, the servers are shitty to start with. It's simply that they don't know like how many people hitting their servers they need to take. Because literally, they don't need to go out and buy new servers permanently. They could buy temporary servers and move all the stuff onto there, or they could optimize their current server thing. So basically, they are literally hard at work, most likely at it. Oh, there we go.
I have to defend them on this from people who some very nasty attacks they've got. You've got to kind of say, like, if they'd sat down in the meeting before they launched it, saying, okay, how many servers do we need? How popular is it going to be? Even if they assumed it was going to be really bloody popular, the person who stood up and said, let's buy enough servers so we could to assume we're going to have more unique daily visitors than Twitter.
Yeah.
That person probably wasn't going to be listened to, because that's a ridiculous idea, even for someone popular.
I agree with that, but I mean, since it came out and since it had the initial popularity, where they went, oh, we've added more servers, and then we've added more server functionality and stuff, and then they launch it in another country and go, oh, it went down again. Oh no, why did it go down again? As opposed to being like, oh, maybe we should, since we know now that we're going to get a huge amount of users, we should account for that. I'm noticing as well, the reviews as well have gone down. It was a 5-star app. It was a 4.5-star app in the App Store, and now it's a 3-star average because it's got about half of the ratings of 1 star now.
It launched at about a 4.1 on Android in this country, which I thought was very nice.
What is it down to? Anything now?
I literally don't know. Okay, so in my immediate area, I have no Pokemon.
Good.
And that's my...
And even if you did, they'd all be 3 footsteps away because they're not repairing that bug anytime soon.
Yeah, nearby, literally nothing. Because I live in the middle of fucking nowhere. If you live in a city, there's more wild animals, because that's how this works.
Yeah, but most of them are rats and pigeons, which actually is how it works.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like that's sort of the wrong way around. You know? That kind of feels like maybe you could just have them everywhere. And maybe then you have laws and things going off that increases them. But having these... Because the way they do it is the more people... The more phones connected to the game in one area, the more Pokemon they spawn there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do it. Which means someone like me, where the closest person I couldn't fire a fucking cannon and hit, I'm just fucked. This is like, I'm here. And they're like, yeah, in a week you can
just
have
get loads of phones and make loads of alt accounts and just have like 100 phones.
Yeah, or I could just keep playing Pokemon Yellow,
to just keep doing
which I'm having a much, much more fun time with. I've actually done some stuff in it that I always wanted to do when I played it when I was a kid, which was I actually bought that shitty level 5 Magikarp and raised it into a Gyarados, and so that's tearing through people. The game's a lot harder than I remember it being. Like
normally the third one that came out per generation is so like Crystal's harder than Gold and Silver and Yellow's harder than Red and Blue. Actually, they turned down Yellow a little. Like Brock's easier than he was in Red and Blue, but like Platinum is way harder than Diamond and Pearl. Typically, the third one is more difficult.
I would
So
say
add an extra challenge to people who've already played the original.
Brock should have been easier because Brock is a ground type and you've got electric types.
But they also do gift you a ton of Mankeys and Nidorans that suddenly learn low kick and double kick, so you've got super effective moves like that, and you didn't used to get those. And I know too much about Pokemon, by the way.
Yes.
But you didn't used to get those. Back in the days, flipping Nidorans that you could catch on route, whatever it is, 3, I think, they could only learn like Poison Sting, which is used against Brock, but in Yellow they learned double kick, which is super effective, and they gave you Mankeys, and low kick was always more powerful the more heavy the Pokemon is, so it was really strong against Onix.
Yep.
Yeah. I would like to keep talking about Pokemon, because I will.
You shouldn't.
No, I probably shouldn't.
Actually, we should talk a little more about Pokemon, because I caught a Mew for the first time using the...
How did you do this thing?
That is a Mew glitch. You have to do one tiny little bit of fuckery, and it works. It doesn't fuck your game up, which I really quite like.
Oh, is this the weird movie thing to store values?
Yeah, this is one of those manipulating the battles and things that you have in a way so that the game gets a bit confused. So what you do is when you get to Misty's town, is it Cerulean City?
Cerulean's Mystery, yeah.
Yeah, so when you get Cerulean, you go up and fight through Nugget Bridge, which is those 5 people, then you battle the Team Rocket guy at the top. If you go to the left and down, there's that patch of grass and there's a trainer in there.
Yep.
You need an Abra before you do this, by the way. Catch an Abra, then go... And as you step down to bring that guy into frame so he's looking at you and you battle him, you press start. As you basically hold start as you take the step down. That'll open up the menu. Choose your Abra and then say teleport, which will just take you back to the Pokemon Center. As you're teleporting away, you'll get the da-ding from the guy, but you've teleported away, so nothing happens. So the game thinks you're in battle mode, but you're not. You then go into Misty's gym, fight the swimmer that's in there, beat the swimmer, and then go back up Nugget Bridge. As soon as you go up Nugget Bridge... the start menu will open by itself. Close it, and randomly you get into a battle with the level 7 Mew.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just catch it.
I've heard this before, yes. I've never done it myself.
I've never done it. It was a beautiful moment, because it's something that was always the rumors of the truck by the SSN.
Yeah, you just use strength on the truck. That's it. That's how you get the Mew. It's under the truck for no reason.
Yeah, did you actually ever see that truck? Because the truck isn't in frame at all. There was
I think when the camera zooms out to watch the SSN leaving, the camera zoomed out enough that you can see it then, I think.
I didn't know that, because what I did was when you get cut, I then went and battled a random person when I was a little kid when I was playing this. I went and battled a random person and lost to them on purpose, and then never went back to the SSN, so it never left. So when I finally got surf, I came back and surfed over, and then you can see the truck that's there. Because there is a truck there, and that's the only place where it's in.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what made all the rumours and stuff go, oh, because that's literally the only time that truck is there. And if you go to the gambling thing, one of the machines says there's someone's keys here, they'll be back. Which I thought was setting up something interesting, but yeah. Yeah, so I'm quite enjoying Pokemon Yellow. Having a good time. Pokemon Go, I'm just in the middle of nowhere, so it's mostly pointless.
I don't even treat it as a Pokemon game, Pokemon Go, really. I treat it as a little game that encourages low-intensity exercise, and that's fine.
Yeah, it is worth noting there, Dan, saying, I'm in the middle of nowhere. The whole point is to get you out.
Yeah, but I go out, and there's still fucking nothing.
It's the point to go to places that you wouldn't normally go,
I've got a dog. That's a real-life Pokemon.
Yeah, and you take it out to fields, which are also in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And then it just runs around, and I lob red balls at it, and then they go, oh, okay, yeah, and then we get it going.
Have you tried going somewhere not in the middle of nowhere?
No, because then there's people.
People are fine.
People aren't fine,
People voted for Brexit. Fine. People just made Trump the Republican delegate, so...
Yeah, well, no,
people suck.
People suck in a lot of ways, but just being near people in general is fine.
When the zombie apocalypse run around, then you are going to be sad you said that.
Yeah.
As someone who lives in the middle of a city, I feel a lot more isolated than I do in the middle of nowhere.
I like being isolated in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because in a city, anyone could be a murderer. In the countryside, if you see someone, they're definitely a murderer. So you know to shoot immediately on sight. Yeah.
Oh, that's why Pokemon Go players are getting murdered in the United States.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, shall we go over the best things that law enforcement agencies have had to tell Pokemon Go players to do over the last week?
This is going to become a fucking weekly segment for this show, isn't it?
Yep.
Go on then.
Okay, so my personal favourites of the last week. The Bosnian government has had to remind its people, do not wander into minefields looking for Pokemon. Because there are still several 100,000 mines buried in Bosnia. Which also raises the question, if Bosnia is not a massive country, you'd think at some point the government would get round to looking for those and, digging them up and disarming them. Like, what exactly in the order of things the Bosnian government is doing is higher up than there are hundreds of thousands of landmines still buried in our country?
Well, Pokemon Go's out, they're probably just playing that.
Well, generally, they just sort of put a big fence around the landmines and go, please don't go near those.
Yep.
And that was sort of the end of it until Pokemon Go.
At some point, there are still hundreds of thousands of murder devices buried in the soil that are invisible to the naked eye in our country. That's something you probably move to the top of the to-do list.
Well, no, it's like having a load of shit in your documents folder, isn't it? It's like having all that shit in your downloads folder. It's just like, it's there.
No,
you can just
sorry.
it.
I want to just intrude here. My documents folders, my downloads folders, my desktop are pristine.
Mine are as well, Dan, but I was trying to relate to people. You've just ruined...
It's like that one room in your house that's just filled with shit.
Yeah, it's a storeroom.
You'll tidy it every now and then, but to be perfectly honest, it's not harming you that much. Mm-hmm. So,
it's an attic. Yeah, it's the attic.
Yeah.
Moving on, the UK Coast Guard has asked young people to stop stealing boats and then abandoning them in order to look for more water Pokemon in the middle of lakes.
Oh my god.
Wait, is that how you find water Pokemon?
Yeah. The Northern Irish Police have asked motorists not to drive down major roads at 15 miles an hour so that eggs actually do continue to gain kilometres on them. Because as long as the car is being driven at below the 20 miles an hour, it counts. However, driving at 15 miles an hour down busy roads on single carriageways is not actually allowed, and people should not do that. And finally, the Wiltshire Fire Department has asked young people not to get themselves trapped several hundred feet below ground in abandoned mines looking for rock and ground type Pokemon. Which happened to 3 people. I'm not sure what the hell they were planning to do down there.
3 people from Wiltshire. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm surprised they have phones.
How are they planning to get the actual 4G down there, given the app has to be always online to function? How are they planning to be connected to the internet down there?
Well, our farms, they do their farming, sir, and I don't know how the phones work. If we rock Pokemon, they'd probably be in the rock place, sir.
Look, if we hadn't left the EU, we weren't leaving the EU, everyone would be entitled as a human right to 50 megabit broadband.
Ooh, but not anymore.
Including several hundred feet below ground in an abandoned mine.
Yes.
Literally, if you live in the UK, if you live in the EU, it must be available to you to purchase at a reasonable cost. And the ISPs must make it possible, whether they actually run a cable to your house or they do it via radio or whatever, they must provide 50 megabits. And the UK government have already been funded by it and to make the system, because it's a government funded project and they're building the systems, and then they're going to sell it off and rent it off to ISPs. Now, they've already started work on it, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. That'll be interesting.
Yep.
Also, sorry, I've just downloaded Pokemon Go again, logged in, and I keep trying to... It's like asking me to enter a nickname, and I do, and it loads for like 5 minutes.
Has to have a number in it.
I Did that as well. Didn't work.
Has to have another number in it.
Good trainer name.
Yeah,
Good.
trainer name. Boobs with many, many O's.
What a piece of shit.
Oh, yes,
What a
those
cool
are my
nickname.
4 favourite Pokemon Go stories this week.
I'm Matophobia 33. Great.
Good.
To be Matophobia 33.
Good. Now if you take over a gym, everyone will know where you live. I'm looking forward to the stories of YouTubers being tracked down because people...
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that'd
this
be
is why I don't do gyms. I'm not touching a gym. I'm not leaving any local gyms with my name on them.
I mean, in fairness, most people know I live in Liverpool, so...
You live where?
I know, right?
Ugh.
I mean, frankly, I'm not like you two. I'm not a big YouTube sensation, so I'm not actually that worried.
You think I'm a big YouTube sensation? John is, though. John's massive.
It told me to walk, and there's no Pokemon appearing, so good.
It's told you to walk, so fuck that.
Yeah, but it's not told me where to walk.
I do
no
want to point
Pokemon
out
around.
that a lot of people get really iffy at me, and I can see them. I can see them on the chat. There's a lot of people get really iffy at me when I go, Pokemon Go is shit. They're like, actually, it brings people together. Not denying that. Still, it's shit. If you
noticed...
take that bit away and you go, does this bit work?
I mean,
it doesn't.
if it was a game on its own, it's a broken, buggy, like, really shallow mess.
Yeah, it's bad for a mobile phone game, and that's saying something.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a really shallow fucking mess, but it is bringing people together, and it's doing good things, and that's cool, but it's still a broken, buggy mess of a game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could replace it if you could just get everyone to just download Zombies Run instead. That'd be fine.
I like
it would
Zombies
still be a
Run.
vaguely mobile, socially
You know
thing
what's a
that would
good
get people
mobile game
running.
that just came out recently? Badlands 2. Go download Badlands 2.
Does that encourage people to walk?
No.
Why do you need encouragement to walk? This is a thing I was like, oh, and actually now you have your encouragement to walk. I walk because, otherwise you die. That's probably a reason to walk. That's why I do exercise and
it encourages people to walk around more than they probably normally would and go to places they wouldn't normally go to.
I normally, I make a rule of, because I work for myself and I work from home now, I say I have to go out every day. I'm never allowed to just be in the house all day.
Oh my god, so I do that all the time. Fuck it.
That is a rule. So I will go out somewhere every single day. Very often I'll just walk to the shops and get a fresh bit of bread for lunch or whatever. Since I got Pokemon Go, I walk further, because if I see a lure further down in town or whatever, I will walk further just to go and check it out in case there happens to be a Pokemon I'm unfamiliar with down there. I walk about literally twice as far every day I have Pokemon Go open as I would do otherwise.
But this seems like a bad idea, because then that's less time for work and more time for exercise.
Yeah,
But you know how YouTuber work is. There's a lot of time rendering or whatever. There's a lot of downtime.
Yeah, as someone who's also developing video games, I don't have downtime.
John.
Yes.
Half the point of working from home is not having to leave.
That's the fun of it.
No, the point of working from home is during a heat wave, you're allowed to work in just your underwear with a fan blowing on you and your boss doesn't yell at you for it.
What do you mean, in a heat wave?
Or in general, if that's your thing, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to catch a Rattata, and I'm in the
A
AR
Rattata.
thing. Right,
I always
whatever.
thought it was Rat-a-tat. Rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat,
And
and
it's
it's
like just in
Rat-a-tat.
AR, and it's got a Pokeball, but there's no Rattata on the screen.
It's
so I can't exit out of it.
Rat-a-tat-a-tat.
Just turn off the AR. The AR's terrible.
Well, I can't exit out of this now, so...
Yeah, you can. You can turn off the AR at any point. It's in the top right-hand corner.
God, that's made my phone really warm. God, that's
Yeah, your phone gets really hot.
drain and a half, innit?
Your phone gets really, really hot when you're playing Pokemon Go. I've noticed this.
Yep. Hey, let's stop talking about this awful piece of shit and talk about something else.
Is there anything else?
I do actually. There's one more thing I want to talk about. I really like that Nintendo's stock has almost doubled, even though it's not a Nintendo game.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've kind of noticed. You know, how there's the old joke that when he loses, Andy Murray's Scottish, but when he wins, Andy Murray's British. When Pokemon Go is terrible and the servers collapse, it's by Niantic. But when it's amazing and everyone loves it, it's by Nintendo.
Even though Nintendo have zero input in the game, they only own.
But it's a Nintendo game if people love it. But the moment you say, "Oh, it's kind of look at the servers, they're completely," "Oh, it's not Nintendo. It's not Nintendo. It's Niantic. It's nothing to do with Nintendo."
Yeah.
People. But the moment people want to praise it, it's totally Nintendo. Actually,
Yeah.
people do change their mind on that a lot.
Well, hey, people have their fucking allegiances, don't
Yeah,
they?
but it's like because they own 1/3 of the Pokemon company. That's it. That's all they do. So they kind of just own that bit. That's it. And so the Pokemon company and Niantic have done this, and Nintendo have done really nothing about it.
I would love to know how the money's being divvied up between the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, and Niantic for this.
Niantic probably got a large portion of it. It's probably a license fee to Pokemon Company, and Nintendo just own a company that's worth a bit more money. So Nintendo aren't making a huge amount of money out of it, I would say.
No, but I suppose it's.
But they've made all their money from their stock going up, so.
Yeah, and I imagine it's maybe they might not be making that much money directly on Pokemon Go, but it's an assurance to them that mobile games might work for them.
I like that the chat is currently shouting about No Man's Sky. There's fuck all to talk about. It's not out yet.
Yeah, why do people seem to give that much of a shit?
From the new trailer that went up about 4 hours ago is one of the worst put together trailers I've ever seen in my entire life. So there's something I can say about it.
Wait, is it just things flying around?
Yeah, it's shooting. So it's kind of like, here's some shooting and not really much happening, and the guy gets sliced in the face.
It's basically everything we knew about the game so far.
Yeah, we kind of know what the game is now. People are like, oh, I can't wait to see the thing is. No, I think this is just going to be quite boring.
Well, no, because I'm just sat here thinking about it going, okay, I'm going to be in a spaceship, right? It's going to be like this nice, colourful place, right? I'm going to land on a place occasionally. There's going to be nothing there, okay. And what else?
You have to head towards the centre of the galaxy. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim towards the centre of the galaxy and put my foot down. And then leave the game for 3 years, come back and be like, oh, that's also the centre of the galaxy.
Yeah, it strikes me as like one of those nice one video sort of games. You just fly around, you name some animals, slightly smutty puns.
Yeah.
Then you challenge the community to go and find them if they can, and then you're done.
Right. Yeah. No, the implication is that you won't find a place with animals on, because they're very rare.
Yeah.
Oh, someone actually just said in the comments, RimWorld is the game we should be talking about. It is. RimWorld looks amazing.
Which one's RimWorld? I've heard of it.
RimWorld looks like Prison Architect. It's colony building, and it's sort of inspired by Firefly. And I've just got review code today, and I can't wait to play it.
I just got the review code for that as well.
I think it looks really good.
Another thing I just got a review code for, Project High Rise. It looks like someone's remade Sim Tower, and not in that sort of shitty mobile phone, no depth, fuck piece of shit, but actual proper version of Sim Tower. So kind of excited by that.
Did I give you a code for RimWorld?
You did.
Okay, good. I did remember. Okay, good.
I genuinely think RimWorld is going to be excellent. I think that's very worth looking at.
Did.
I was worried that you said it's like, oh god, did Machinima have to give you instead?
I think you did.
Oh, if the code is here, so I assume I did.
Yeah, I swear you said to me. I don't know if I've cashed it in or not.
Yeah, whatever.
This is my problem with getting so many fucking things.
Yeah. And even when I send you them directly and go, hey, look at this game.
Oh no, I didn't put it in my Steam account. How odd. Now we're just doing work. That's all we're doing now. Is we're just doing work.
I mean, well, the podcast is technically work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, in other Nintendo news,
we don't have fun. Oh.
It's just basically I'm just looking through a list of cards. Yeah, Matt, can you send it again so I can get a video on that done?
Yeah,
I saw that. I was super interested. Beautiful.
What was Nintendo news, John? Yes.
The Nintendo have announced this little mini NES thing.
Oh my god, that's the best thing in the world.
Which is confirmed now to be, in a kind of slightly hilarious account for what's happened to the British currency after Brexit, $60 in the US or £50 in the UK.
Can I just like a point about that, right? As cool as it sounds, I'm sat there going, yeah, but 10 years ago I had those little, 15 years ago, whatever, I had those little N64 controllers with, 500 like NES and NES games, and this is basically the same thing but more expensive with less games.
You say that, but this is actually officially done, whereas most of those are knockoffs and horrors.
Well, yeah, but just because it's a knockoff doesn't mean. I mean, even if it's a knockoff, it still plays the game the same, pretty much.
Actually, having the
there are some mistakes on
controllers.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, okay. First of all,
I mean, right for me, the reason I'm super excited by it is I can get a NES controller. I can have someone sitting next to me with a NES controller, and we can play old NES games together.
Yeah, but you can just. I almost did this. You can just buy an actual NES.
Yes.
They're not that expensive.
And then I have
to
buy
but I want a proper little.
Yeah, and
I don't want CRT,
either.
Matt. CRT. We're done with this. We want something with some that can connect to proper monitors and televisions.
You can do that as well. You get a converter. This is the thing. You can do.
They look shit, like, Matt. If you hardware upscale NESs, which were fucking 240p, it looks awful.
Well, this is also going to be running at 240, isn't it?
I assume they're going to do something that's going to make it look a bit better than it does do if you hardware upscale.
I mean, it's probably just going to be.
There you go. The top one on eBay, a NES with 2 games and a controller, £85.
Fucking hell.
So I could get that, or I could buy this £50 one, which comes with 30 games and a controller, and the controllers are only £10 each.
That's good. That's good, actually. I was
and they work with the Wii and the Wii U. So if you've bought any games, any Virtual Console games already, you can play those. Point,
actually, it does work with the Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah, you can play those on your NES thingy.
Can I just complain, however, that it has Castlevania 1 and 2, but not Castlevania 3, which is kind of the one everyone would actually have wanted?
Yes, you can complain. There are a few weird sort of things in there, but
because who the fuck wants Castlevania 2 Simon's Journey? Who the fuck wants that?
Who wants Zelda?
Do the fucking crouch. Do the crouch thing in the holy water and carried away by a fucking tornado. I don't fucking.
Yeah, I think kind of note, particularly the original Final Fantasy, Kid Icarus, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, Legend of Zelda and Adventures of Link.
Lol.
Oh, pretty good.
Thing is, I'll probably buy it, because I mean...
I'm definitely getting it to play Bubble Bobble with 2 people.
I want to see footage from it first to see whether it actually looks decent on modern TVs.
There we go, you're back. Thanks, Internet.
Actually, I kind of want it to succeed anyway, because if it succeeds, then maybe we'll get a mini Super NES, and then maybe a mini N64, then maybe a mini GameCube, and we're moving slowly steps and steps closer to me getting to play Skies of Arcadia in 1080p one day. Please.
These lovely little official emulator things would be lovely, because as much as everyone says, just get a fucking Raspberry Pi or get a little tiny fucking get like a really shit computer and just have it as an emulation box and have a load of emulators on it. And yeah, but to me, and I had this years ago. I had pirated all the NES and SNES games and I was running through emulators. But that's not. I don't. It's very hollow.
Yeah.
You want to sit down with an actual.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean entirely.
There's something a lot nicer than actually holding the proper controller and actually sitting there and playing it on a sofa to sitting on a PC and playing it with a keyboard. The controller is a lot of the experience, because that is a bad controller.
Yeah.
It's a bad controller, but I like anything that sort of archives gaming for a bit more, because gaming's becoming a very fragile thing. Where games kind of exist and then they do fuck all. There's a big focus on multiplayer at the moment with, your Overwatches, etc. They're games that 2-3 years not going to be around.
I think Nintendo just announced today or the other day recently that all of the multiplayer and online functionality of Pokemon, what's it called, the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, whatever, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, maybe it's the other way around, I forget. Those are going to be shut down in October this year.
Yeah.
So a large part of that game is going to be dead.
After about a year,
and that's not even been out that long.
Yeah, about a year by that time it comes out.
Can I just make one point about this fucking classic NES? Right. It only comes with one controller. And it's powered by USB.
Yes.
Why is it powered by USB?
Well, a lot of things are powered by USB. It's just very small. It only requires a small amount of power. And you just have to, in the EU, I think America gets this, you have to just buy one of those USB to plug adapter things.
Yeah, but why not just provide the
plug?
assume,
they say, oh, no, you're not going to be able to connect and add any more games to it. I would assume that's exactly why they would have done it. So maybe at some point the idea was to be able to buy games off your virtual console and copy them over or whatever. But I don't know. But you can buy.
That was a period of history. That was a period of history when Nintendo liked putting extra little holes on the side of their consoles in case they wanted to plug something in later, but then they never actually did.
Yep.
Like the CD drive for the Super NES that never materialized, or the 64DD for the N64 that is occasionally one is found in a storeroom somewhere, but otherwise never existed.
Yep.
So maybe this is like that. They've decided to put an extra hole in the side to cause speculation, and they'll never use it for anything.
Well, maybe it'll be the best thing in the world.
It's better to spend a couple of 20 pence or whatever, putting this little extra port in, just in case you want to do anything with it in future.
Yeah.
Just to give you the option.
True, but nowadays most people they don't bother. Most consoles are only going to last 3 days now. Every 3 days, PlayStation S, PlayStation Jablo, PlayStation.
There's a related thing. I'm looking at the NES. There's a related thing. It's called it's Sega Genesis Games Classic Game Console 2014.
Yes, apparently it's fucking awful. The controls are wireless and therefore have to have batteries.
Yeah. Made by Sega, apparently officially licensed.
I don't think it was made by Sega. I think it was made by somebody else. Sega just licensed.
No, yeah, it's made by someone else, but it's officially
But
licensed.
one of my favourite things about the Mega Drive controller, and I know this for a fact, because I was literally playing on my Mega Drive today for a video, is that the controller is the hollowest, lightest, weirdest thing in the world. It's so light, and having a big, heavy controller wireless with batteries would just feel like an entirely different thing.
Side note about this thing, though, which is interesting. This Sega thing actually supports original cartridges. You can plug any Mega Drive cartridge into it and they'll work.
Yeah, that's a nice little thing. Because there's
nice.
One of the things I've got my eye on is there's actually a thing that does that for like 10 or something different consoles that you can get.
Yeah, I've got one of those for ages and they're really fucking expensive.
They're really expensive and apparently they're never that great, but I do really want to sort of get into that world a little bit more.
Like, there are a lot of like gaming YouTubers who are really like retro collectors.
Yeah.
I think LGR, he's a big collector of like PC, like old PC boxes, and then you have people like Pro Jared and AVGN who collect loads of old Nintendo.
There's the
SNES
Game Chasers or whatever they're called. They make actual their YouTube videos are fucking amazing if they're the people I'm thinking of. I'll have a.
But like, I love the idea of having this room of just nostalgia, I guess. Like, I'm someone who really hates physical media, and I really hate physical documents, and I like everything digitized, and I like all my media digitized, and I hate having DVDs, and I hate... books are the only thing I like physical. But, you know, I hate having actual DVDs and CDs and everything.
I have a lot of PS2 cases and games, but only ones I want to play. I don't just buy everything.
Well, that's it, but even then, it's like, I just hate... Because you can lose them, and they can break, and I'd rather just... But I don't know, something about having all this older shit just there and it feeling and it walking into this environment and being like, yes, this is the past now.
Yep.
I am a time traveler now. You know, you get an old CRT monitor and you plug a load of shit into it, and like LGR, he makes old computer. He like gets a load of old computer parts and makes like an old IBM computer.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've looked it up. Game Chasers. They have like where they actually have the Game Chasers episode, whatever. If you watch those, they're like half an hour long or something, and it's shot like a proper sort of TV documentary style, and they're really good videos. They're super good. If you want to look at
God,
people
they've only got
collecting old games.
91,000 subscribers.
Ow! Loud volumes.
Oh yeah, you can still hear my computer, can't you?
Someone in the chat says,
Yes,
talk about
we can.
Fallout Shelter PC. Well, it's still Fallout Shelter, so it's still the worst game ever made.
It's not even bad.
Just what you know, like I run like not really a Fallout channel, but a Fallout-ish channel, and even I haven't bothered playing it on PC yet.
I had a question.
That's exciting.
Does anyone know if the microtransactions came over to PC or not?
I'll check.
The flipping Fallout,
It was out for a
this
day
is
or
not
two,
true
and
for
I had
me.
no idea. I couldn't find any
The
information.
Fallout-focused YouTubers aren't really bothering with this.
Okay, first, John.
Again,
say
that's like Sim Tower, but again, it goes down instead of up. That's sort of that side-on sort of building, which is why I'm excited for the actual proper one. We have to care and consider and build things.
John, saying you're a Fallout-ish YouTuber is the least accurate thing I've ever heard.
Really?
I know you don't like branding yourself as a Fallout
Trump
channel
would
because
probably
you
help
don't
an
want
old
to back
lady
yourself.
cross the road. Yeah, that's probably the least accurate thing you've ever heard.
There was a period not long after the launch of Fallout 4 where 4 out of 7 weekly videos were Fallout.
No. And I know you don't want to back yourself into that. I don't want to be a full Fallout channel. But let's be honest, you're mainly a Fallout channel. That's mainly your pull, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I just said. I thought you were arguing. Are we arguing where we're both taking the same side?
I think so.
I think so. Why did you even start this fight, Matt?
Shut up, John. I like fighting with people. It's not on Steam. Where'd you play it?
It's on like the Bethesda bollocks.
You have to download it. You actually have to download it. It's not on Steam.
What's the point then?
It's a game where you push keys and then stuff happens on the screen that entertains you.
What's the point in releasing something on PC and not putting it on any of the main PC stores?
It's coming. It's just,
I don't know. Ask Blizzard.
believe...
Why don't you ask Blizzard, Matt?
Why
don't I ask Blizzard?
It's on Bethesda's thing first, and then it'll come over.
Right.
Okay, so it has come over with microtransactions.
Oh.
And apparently it's come over with more microtransactions because you can now buy Nuka-Cola Quantums. They can be used to speed up wasteland travel time, craft items instantly, skip more than one objective per day, and complete barbershop customizations instantly. Yeah. So you can buy all the microtransaction bollocks, including new ones.
Like, I wish they'd just go, hey, buy it for £2 because it's not a bad game by any
It is a
stretch.
bad game. It's a bad game with wait timers and bullshit built into it.
No. Let me finish.
See, I'm sorry.
Right,
Whenever anyone brings an actual, like, if you take an actual game and then do that panning down, adding in build timers and shit, and then go, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay because we've had so much better many years ago.
Dan, let me finish. Let me finish my thought.
It's a terrible game.
Terrible game. Terrible. Bollocks to you.
The core game isn't bad. If
Core
you
game
took
is
the
terrible.
game,
What the fuck are you talking about? The core game
Let
is
me finish.
atrocious.
You
You
paid
build the
£2
thing,
for it.
Look over there, a pony.
They remove the wait timers. And they remove the microtransactions and make it like £2.50 and make it like a hotel.
No. You see, that would be even worse because the game is built around these wait timers and microtransactions.
Well,
if you take them out, the game would be just a piss bliss. Like because when I played Fallout Shelter, I was so fucking bored with waiting around because that's not how I play games. That I got like someone's save which had like 250 lunchboxes on it and just opened those up to give myself all the infinite stuff.
I think like the idea
And then,
is, Tracy played this a lot.
just became boring again.
Well, like Tracy played this a lot, and I know the whole idea about it is you play it for like a couple of minutes and you put it down and you pick it up the next day.
That's
I know,
just
and
not,
that's the
that right. If
that's,
you are
that's what mobile gaming is. That's mobile gaming. It's pick up and play for 2 minutes.
I get that. There are some games that works for. Animal Crossing, turn it on, play for half an hour, turn it off. I understand that.
Not saying
a
it's good,
strategy
Dan. I'm not saying it's
game.
good.
A strategy game is the worst kind of game.
Oh no, okay.
The worst kind of game to play that.
Let's be honest, Dan. It's hardly a strategy.
Well, that's the point. It is a strategy game with no strategy. You cannot lose.
No.
This is because of microtransactions.
That's all it is.
This is why mobile phone games suck dick when they try and do strategies because you can't lose.
This is all it is. No, like it's not. It's like Fallout 4 is in a lot of ways a bad RPG.
No, it's an amazing RPG.
No, it's a great game, but it's in a lot of ways a bad RPG.
You can't. Yes, in the sense of you struggle to role play in it. That effectively.
Yes.
Really? Because I'd like to point at the ending of my Fallout series.
No, shut up.
And go. Feel like I've role played pretty
you
well.
You have a very active imagination, Daniel. But like
I still think Fallout Shelter shit.
In the idea of indie structured game world, there was very few choices and very few ways for you to make the character your own. In the same way to that, Fallout Shelter is a bad strategy game, and as you say, it's not really designed to be that. It's a builder first, and it's strategy second.
Okay, well, it's a bad building game then.
Yeah, and then it's similar to the way Fallout 4 was made as a first-person shooter explorer game first, and then a fucking.
But the fact is that if you in Fallout 4, there's something to actually play. Yeah. Whereas in Fallout Shelter, there's nothing to play because the actual thing of we're going to build this base. Why are we building this base? Because we're building a base.
No, I agree. You don't have to argue with me. I agree with you completely. I'm just saying that's what it's for. It's a building game. It's just the reason people keep going back to it isn't for the challenge or the strategy. People keep going back to it because they want to build a fucking vault. And that's all. And this is what the new Vault DLC for Fallout 4 is just going to replace completely.
Yeah, this is what I don't get. Like Fallout 4.
But that's going to have quests. That's going to have quests. It's going to be better.
But that's the point. That's what makes it even better, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, it's the same thing, but it's better, and it doesn't have wait timers, and actually that kind of bothers me about Fallout 4's building, and I wish it did have some sort of wait timer, not in the sense of the thing, but I hate the idea of, hey, I'm just going to build a massive nuclear reactor instantly.
Yeah.
That feels a bit, I get the gameplay reason to it, and I know, Dan, you probably like that, and I agree, it's a lot better gameplay-wise, but I wish it kind of did it Dungeon Keeper style, where you actually had...
Are you talking about Dungeon Keeper or Dungeon Keeper Mobile?
The proper one.
Okay.
I would like it if you could just build in like wireframe, and then you have to go away and you watch it slowly coming into existence as you come back, because that's what people
actually assign your settlers to do building work.
But you can always see the wireframe floating and shimmering in the sky, but you can see it literally being built as you come and go. That I'd like.
Like, and I agree for the games, the reasons why they didn't do that, but I don't know, it ruins the immersion for me a bit. In Fallout, like it feels a bit. It's like as I keep mentioning this to you, John, but when you said the other week about how the pit, the top of the world in fucking industrialization and shit, and then just some
how incredibly important it is, and how it needs a ridiculous amount of slaves and suffering and horror just to have any form of means of production that's actually producing new stuff in a manufacturing basis. is a huge deal that's incredibly morally complicated and incredibly energy intensive, and then one woman wakes up and she can just start building conveyor belts.
Yeah, it feels thematically wrong, but I get the gameplay reason. And I've got Fallout Shelter out. It's exactly the same game.
Yeah. I hate it's apparently got a 4.5 rating because that's what mobile people like. They like a game they just turn on and then something.
I suppose that's the appeal, though, isn't it? Because like for me, I hate portable gaming. I've never owned like the only portable console I ever owned was a DSi.
Yeah.
And I think a Game Boy Advance, and I very rarely played the Game Boy Advance. I think I had the Game Boy Advance when it was my only games console, and the DSi I had when I had an Xbox. And I didn't enjoy the DSi that much whenever I even played it. And I've never had a portable gaming system, even though the Vita's great and the DS is great. And I've never had it because I hate I'd rather just sit down in a nice chair with a big screen and play a fucking game. And I don't want to sit. And the same with mobile games. I don't get the appeal.
Well, it's
of a lot of them, but I see it for other people.
I get the appeal of handheld gaming because good handheld games fit both the I want to sit and play something for a couple of hours or I've got 10 minutes, let's play something. That's what the best ones do. So something like Meteors...
Badlands is very good for that.
I can play forever and ever and ever, amen. But I can also play, if I've got 5 minutes on a bus, I can whip out Meteors and be like, fuck yeah, Meteors. Same goes for stuff like Alibi Agents. I mean, sometimes most of the games that I do like on... handhelds tend to be stuff that's just would only work on that handheld, like The World Ends With You. But other times, Metal Gear Solid did a really good Metal Gear Solid, what the fuck ever it was called on the PSP, with Big Boss doing his dance, and I can't remember the fucking thing's name now. But that was incredible because instead that they broke the standard Metal Gear Solid gameplay up into these little missions, and you could do them, and they were a little bit repetitive, but because it was a pick up and play sort of thing, you could play like a chunk of it or a little bit. And they kept that mission system for 5. But it didn't work in 5 because 5 wasn't a handheld game. The little missions work nicely when they're 5 minutes to 10 minutes long and it's on a handheld. But when you've got it's supposed to be a big expensive game, dropping in and out and going back and forth just didn't really do anything. Just didn't work for me.
I get that.
Yeah, so you just got to build the right game for the right thing. Like I've actually recently, I thought I was going to do a special on mobile phone games, and I played some of the top ones, and I literally could get nothing out of it. Peace Walker, fuck, thank you, Twitched Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. But there's stuff the really popular stuff. I mean, there's your Clash of Clans and stuff that is literally I cannot because it's hey, let's play real time strategy that isn't in real time and has no strategy. Just shit like that, I can't deal with any of those things. Then you got stuff like Crossy Road, which is Endless Frogger, and that's it. Well, and then the other top one I saw was Disney Crossy Road. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But in that game, it's if you spend £3, you play as a different character. What do they do? Fucking nothing. They're just skins.
This is why I'm quite a fan of the way the iOS App Store does its curation. Because this is how I find games on the iOS. Because if you look at the most popular, it is the same. It's this shit.
Yeah.
But they do proper creation. They do on the front page in the featured section. They have this fucking big banner. I remember once this big banner that said, "Games, one-off cost games. Our favorite games with no microtransactions that you just pay for, and that's it." They made a big deal out of it, and it was a load of very good games.
Yeah.
And they have new games we love, and it's actually a load of interesting new content. And it's easy to find stuff on here, I find. It's quite kind of why I like the iOS App Store a bit more. But it's most of them are as you say, it's this really just uninteresting shit, isn't it? It's just it's a game and you buy a skin. It's not got much to it.
Yeah, a lot of games. I mean, that's the thing is they take genres that I love, including especially building and strategy games, and then they just take all the gameplay out. Look at Dungeon Keeper. I mean, Dungeon Keeper is... And Roller Coaster Tycoon was another one. I mean, Roller Coaster Tycoon you had to pay for and had microtransactions. Ooh. So
there's a really good game here.
For Dungeon Keeper, what they did was they took the base game, which is you've got to build a dungeon, because on the other side of the map, someone else is building a dungeon, and they're about to come and fuck you up. So you've got to build a dungeon to defend from them. You've got to build it as far as possible, basically, and defend yourself as best as you can. Good luck. Which was great. In the mobile phone one... You're building a dungeon, and then no one else is around, and you have to send your people on quests. Oh, and your dungeon can't be attacked because you can't lose. Because if you lost and you've spent money, you might be angry. So any game that has microtransactions, you'll tend to find out you can't actually lose. So there's no loss. Like, I mean, Total Biscuit describes a video game as one that, like, with a fail state. To Total Biscuit, mobile games aren't even games, which I disagree with that. I think that you know there's other ways you can define things. But
I think there's a lot of good games I play that don't have fail states.
Name them.
Gone Home.
Gone Home does have a fail state.
What's its fail state?
Does it? Where?
It does have a fail state. Gone Home has my favourite fail state. You're too dumb to progress. If you
Okay, well, yeah, but the too dumb to
Okay,
progress,
yeah, you could
set that to
not
anything.
find
Like,
the secret door, for example.
Yeah.
Like, fine.
No, too dumb to progress in a lot of ways is like fucking like if you can't use a menu system, then technically a PC is a game.
No, but if it gives you puzzles and you cannot solve them, then you do have to stop at that point.
Okay.
No mobile game ever goes, you've got to get over this wall.
Okay. What was that excellent game by Davey Rem, was it? Guy who made Stanley Parable. One of the guys who made Stanley
The
Parable.
Beginner's Guide.
Beginner's Guide.
That doesn't have a fail state.
No.
That's a film.
Does it
So it's
not?
fine.
It's a game, but it's not.
Or you end that game feeling like you failed as a person just for playing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
So
It's
that
not a
game's nothing
failure
but a
state.
fail state. And I think that was the
Also, Dan,
point.
I've just sent you a
The
code.
only way to win is to not play.
Pretty much, actually, yes. Just by playing that game, you were complicit with something awful, and I felt really bad because I was pretty 95% sure it was a story that was made up, but just on the 5% chance it was actually real, I felt really shit about myself for playing it.
Yep.
So it was very well done.
Yep.
Okay, I've just checked. I'm in Fallout Shelter on PC now. I just think when Fallout Shelter came out on phones, there was one thing you could buy, which were the Vault-Tec lunch boxes.
Yep.
And they were just random cards, and they were actually pretty alright balance-wise. The max microtransaction there was £15 for 40, which is still a lot, but compared to other games, it's pretty small. So, okay, fine.
But still there.
This has 4 different things, this PC version. There's Nuka-Cola Quantum, which has the standard tiers. It goes up to £80 for 1,000 Nuka-Cola Quantum.
Seriously, buy Fallout 4 for that price. This game could not give you anything at this point that one can.
That is the cost of Fallout 4 plus the season pass.
Fucking
that's
RRP.
more. When it was new. Yeah, when it was new. Like, you can get the fucking collector's edition, bro. And then the lunch box is £15 still the max. Then pets, £15 for 40 pets.
Right.
And then £2.99 for Mr. Handies.
Oh, Jesus.
5 Mr. Handies.
Yeah, well, you could always. I think Mr. Handies were a thing you could get before, but yeah.
Sorry, just the statement. It's $2.99 for a Mr. Handy strikes me as very funny for some reason.
5 Mr. Handies. No,
Oh, sorry,
wow.
no, you get 5 Mr. Wow,
Where the fuck are
that's a
you,
good deal.
Amsterdam?
80p for a Mr. Handy. It's a good deal.
No.
Yeah, the
Well,
Mrs.
£80
Handies are
for-
much more expensive though, and you'll realise that's the ones you actually want later. So
I see.
yeah.
Not even kidding. No, Fallout 4 does have Miss Handies technically. I can't
Well, they're
remember
called
what the
Miss
actual name
Nannies.
is.
I think all
Miss
those.
Nannies,
But paying 80p for a Miss Nanny sounds really weird.
Matt, I think all
that
those
sounds weird now.
microtransactions have made their way onto. I think that's like Fallout Share has been updated recently,
Oh, has it actually?
so the mobile game has those as well. So that's
Like, I just
good. Matt, the code
honestly,
worked.
right-
Sorry, side note there. I've
yay.
been trying to get that one for a while.
Here's the problem. I don't think inherently microtransactions, because I think microtransactions can be done right
I don't think so.
sometimes.
I know
There
most
are
people
some
then go,
games that-
"Oh, but what if it's just skins?" I'm like, look, I get your thing. I get the thing you're saying. But from where I came from to where games are now, they are nothing but a fail.
No, I fully understand.
Like I
Right.
can't get behind them. Do you know why? Because I'm an old twat. And the way
But
I used
You're
to
not
like
that old.
Here's when I
like
think they
it's like
work.
Tuxedo Snake. Tuxedo Snake was that you finish the game with an incredibly difficult thing. You now get to be James Bond. You get a different menu music. You just get to sort of play as James Bond because you played so hard. Now you just buy it. Just buy it.
No, I agree, but like I think a game that does them really well is Rainbow Six Siege, was a Ubisoft game, hilariously, and I think Rainbow Six Siege does it very well in that it is simply weapon skins which cannot be traded. It's not like CS:GO. It's not you don't get a crate or anything. You just buy the weapon skins.
CS:GO.
They're not random drops. You either buy them or you don't have them. And hats. They're just purely cosmetic. Now, the reason I think it's good is because Rainbow Six Siege it has regular updates, regular map updates, and regular characters are added, and the maps are given for free. You don't need the season pass to access the maps, and that's where this kind of small microtransaction model comes in. And I think that microtransaction model is very fine. It doesn't ruin the game balance. It's if you want to support the game, and it's supporting the continued development of the game. I think that's the rare case when it's acceptable to me. And the microtransactions are, you know, reasonably priced as well. But in a game like Fallout Shelter, where it's £80 for some fucking...
nothing. Some literal nothing.
Literal nothing. I mean, even GTA, which is still shit microtransactions, by the way. I'm not defending GTA's microtransactions, but GTA's microtransactions are still better than this shit. Because at least, you know, there's some very mild, hollow substance to when you buy a fucking a yacht.
They're just as bad.
Oh, I disagree.
No,
I disagree.
They're just as bad. Because as soon as the servers go off, you've wasted your money.
Yeah. GTA will one day be lost forever. At least the cloud of ones and zeros you have in Fallout Shelter might be around forever.
I completely agree with you, but what I mean about Fallout Shelter is like buying Nuka-Cola Quantums for £80 versus, let's say, 8 million or however much it is in GTA for loads of money. In Fallout Shelter, you get Nuka-Cola Quantums, which speed up the wait timers very slightly.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They have so little substance and they're gone. And I'm not saying that... I'm saying GTAs are better, but I'm saying that the most marginal better and they're both still shit.
Nah, they're both
it's like it's a
evil.
slightly better formed shit.
I'd say they're both evil, relentless.
No, they're both evil, but they're both...
I mean, you know...
One is very...
Back in my day, back when it was all fields, actually it was fields of nothing. We didn't have fields back then. I wasn't that far ago. But basically a game would come out and you go, yeah, that was alright, and then a sequel would come out. Possibly, if you were lucky, an expansion pack would come out, which is like a bundle of DLC.
God,
Whoa, what? Expansion pack?
Yeah.
La-di-da. Some of us on consoles didn't get expansion packs.
So, yeah, you got sort of re-releases with the expansion pack stuff added. Like Half-Life.
And we had to pay £50 a pop, no matter how bad the game was going to be. And we only had one opinion telling us whether it was good or bad, and that was a magazine. One magazine would tell us.
Yep. And they were bought out by whoever would.
And then eventually it would be later to be realised that many of those magazines were taking money under the table to give favourable reviews to shit games.
Driver 3. Lovely. There's Guru Larry did a really, really good video on Drivergate. If you've never seen, if you know nothing about Drivergate, go watch Guru Larry's video on it. It's really good.
I would like to point out as well, Dan, as much as you complain about modern games development, it is the reason that we both have jobs. We all have jobs.
Yes, I mean, like there was. I will admit that it got better for a while, but I think it's getting worse. Like I played a game today, and it took me an hour on the Sega Mega Drive that I would have bought for full price, which was the same price as games are now, and I beat it in an hour, and that was the entire game done in an hour. But now you get a game like Fallout, and but you used to get games. There was a beautiful sweet spot, like I said, in the end of the 1990s, the start of the 2000s in PC gaming, where you could get an RPG that lasted you 6 billion hours and it would have a nice expansion pack. And then you wouldn't have, like, I kind of want to go back to expansion. I mean, season passes are kind of expansion packs, apart from they're 3 times the price of an expansion pack, and you don't know what's in them.
No.
We kind of had a better period of that even outside of PC in that same period, which is like, as a general rule, if you bought a full price game on consoles in that period of late 90s, early noughties, you were expecting maybe 60 hours.
Yeah.
Especially from a AAA game. You wanted 60 hours from the single player campaign.
Yeah.
Just for the single player, excluding any multiplayer. And now, and as we went through GameCube into Xbox and 360 and all of a sudden people were saying, oh, there's a really healthy 25-hour campaign. Oh, there's a really healthy 15 hours. Like, wait a second. When did a 15-hour campaign become fine for a full-price release? When was that okay?
Oh, that was the PS2 era, and that's when I really fell in love with video games, because the games started coming out with... I bought 2 types of games when I was in the PS2 era. I bought games that were short and intense, stuff like Black. You know, a game like Black, which is over in sort of 6 to 9 hours, and you're just done with it, and you blitz through it, and you go, that was fucking awesome, there's no multiplayer, it was just a sweet thing. Something like Shadow of the Colossus you can get through in sort of the same amount of time. But then to counter that, I also had games like Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I could play for literally ever. And just keep playing. Or Spider-Man 2, which I could also play for literally ever. And so I actually balanced that out quite nicely. Nowadays, every game seems to want to last forever, even games that shouldn't, like Tomb Raider.
Oh, this was a fucking... Right. One of the BAFTA awards was best... I think it was continuous, or I don't know what the actual wording they used, but it was like the best game that was just never ending, essentially. And there was a lot of games in it, like Fallout 4 was in it, and like there was a lot of just.
Well, I'd like to point out in Fallout 4, I'm now 120 hours in, and I'm still playing it and still having fun. It's a huge game. I did take the last 16 hours out to build one settlement.
Wait, hang on. My psychic power's kicking in. I think Matt's about to say I played that much Fallout 4 before it even came out, you scrub, or something? Is that what you're about to say, Matt? You might point out how you played your review copy more than anyone else in the world?
Don't even have to say it.
Yeah, that's what Matt was about to say.
Yes, but Matt, I've also, done other things, like had sex with ladies and owned a business in that time.
Oh, yeah,
so
sex with ladies, that's good.
The best thing.
High five, sex with ladies.
But, I've done other stuff. I've played other video games, Matt. I have a life. I've written a film.
Oh.
But the...
So
seriously,
I went to a cinema and watched the film.
I showed that settlement. Remember I showed that settlement off like last week? I was like, hey, the settlement. I actually finished it, so I did a video on it. So there's an upcoming video where I'm like, hey, look at this thing I built. It's like a really weird episode of Through the Keyhole. So look forward to that.
And then afterwards he went and had sex with a lady.
Oh, did I just...
Game. Persistent game. Fucking right. I joked Rebecca about inviting you two over to mine. I was like, I would never would, because you just both have sex on every one of my possessions.
Not everyone. I wouldn't do it on that Defiant model you've got that looks really nice.
Not the pointy ones.
Nice Defiant
Not the
model.
pointy
Also
things.
my Snoopy models. Don't touch my Snoopy models.
You fuck your Snoopy models. They come from McDonald's and I know it.
They do. They're nice, though.
It's great how I recognise them, because I got a shit ton of them in this house.
Really sad. No, persistent game. It was persistent game category. In it was Prison Architect, Destiny, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Guitar Hero Live, awful game, Guitar Hero Live, Lego Dimensions, and The Witcher 3. Prison Architect won, and I think that was the best one to win. It was the most...
Yeah, because that's a game that I could literally just... I'm still just playing that, and because that has my favourite mechanic ever, which is when you're bored with a thing, you just sell up and move on to the next one with the extra money you got from the last one.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the problem, because I feel like saying, Destiny's a persistent game, well... I guess technically it is, but
Destiny's a persistent game just based on how many people fucking talk about it all the time.
Did this have to be recent games, by the way? Were old games allowed to be in this? Because I'd argue that SimCity 4 and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 can outlast any of them.
I'd argue that Minecraft, if it was on that list, would want it.
Well, these were games that were released in the past year.
Oh, just the past year. Oh, of course, Prison Architect released in the last year.
Just on the note of games that feel like they're going to go on forever, well, not in this case, but the Overwatch Battleborn thing. Battleborn, after 3 months now after release, is in the most recent Humble Bundle. For that's a great bundle, by the way. Spec Ops Line is $1. You'd like to pay $1 to get Spec Ops The Line, so that's good.
Yeah, the $1 for Duke Nukem Forever, Spec Ops: The Line in Darkness 2, that's well worth having.
Would you like to explain to the ladies and gentlemen how you describe that on Twitter, John?
That is the world's easiest game of shag, marry, kill.
Yeah, it really is. I'd kill them all.
Though some people were of the opinion that it should be marry Darkness 2 and shag Spec Ops, which is blatantly wrong and corrupt, but most people got it.
Well, yeah, because, if you... They're kind of...
No, Darkness 2 is something you take in the back alley, you have a quick go.
Take in the back alley, do you, Matt?
Sorry.
Hashtag sex with men. I do apologise. Sorry, ignore my thingy there.
Normally I prefer not to have my one-night stands in a back alley, but whatever floats your boat, Matt.
Well, it doesn't float my boat. I'm just saying that's what you do with Darkness 2.
Matt's boat remains particularly unfloated in these circumstances.
I'm saying, Darkness 2
my boat is in the sand, in the dry sand.
It's Doc.
The sand is all up in my rudder.
Oh, it's winning every crack. Ghostbusters joke, hilarious. No, it's not something you take into a fancy hotel. It's not something you call. You go into the back alley, you have a quick go.
And then you regret it for the rest of your life.
You have a quick go.
You get infected by some shit. That's the darkness.
You have a quick go. You're not sure which hole you're in, but
Spec Ops. See, but the problem with Spec Ops is if you marry it.
There's no romance with your back alley romances, are there, Matt? There's not even a single bit of foreplay against the pins.
Spec Ops: The Line is a marriage that ends in a murder-suicide, and we all know that. That's the downside of that. Mm-hmm. You'd have to marry Duke Nukem Forever because it just wouldn't fucking turn up for the wedding. So Grow Up is out on the 16th of August, and I'm incredibly excited about it.
That's skipping forward a bit. That's in the future. What are we going to talk about on the August 16th if you're talking about Grow Up now?
Gravity Rush 2. Oh, wait, no, that's coming out in December. Rick and Morty VR. No, that's not coming out for a little while either.
Skip to all the August the 2nd news, because literally everything's launching on August the 2nd.
Dead Rising on PS4.
Is it?
Yeah, it's good.
That's one I didn't have down, but there's a
I
lot.
don't know.
Like,
Is that-
Batman,
is that
the
coming out?
Batman Telltale game, that is August the 2nd.
God, it's like two of my least favorite things combined.
I mean, like, I watched the trailer for that, and my initial reaction was, yep, that's a Telltale
Yeah.
game, alright. Because God forbid we would ever do a different visual style.
They like to do.
Well-
Matt appears to be. Are you Matt? What's in your mouth? Do I even want to know?
He just nipped out to a back alley, don't ask.
Who's in your mouth? I think is the better question to ask
No.
me right now.
I stuffed my face in this bag of Rice Krispies and I realised it was supposed to be the noisiest thing, just the crunkling of the bag and the Rice Krispies.
The crunkling of the
Right.
bag, yes, not the crinkling. No, the crunkling is a very effeminate dance that Matt does while eating.
Now, more
crisps.
importantly, on August 2nd, Ubisoft is releasing its biggest game of the year. Unexpected, but still. On August the 2nd, Ubisoft is releasing a
Why
3D...
do you say it like that still?
Hmm?
Ubisoft.
Because they actually released a video where they acknowledged that you could say it any way you wanted. So I
Yeah,
can
but
say
I
it
don't-
any way I want.
Yeah, but I don't like that you say it that way, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, fine. So Ubisoft
It sounds weird
release-
coming out of a posh person.
okay, so Ubisoft...
What the fuck's that?
Or Ubisoft...
It's
are releasing-
Ubisoft. What have Ubisoft been doing?
They are releasing Battleship, a 3D reimagining of Battleship, which is actually just 2D but with 3D graphics, so the press release is lying, for PS4 and Xbox One.
Nice.
So you're going to be able to buy the original Battleship on PS4 and Xbox One on August the 2nd, and then stay there, don't leap out of your chair just yet to get your credit card, because a week later, they're releasing Uno on PS4 and Xbox One.
Wow.
Because apparently no one's releasing anything in August, and they're just trying to pad out the release
How
schedule
is
a bit.
Grow Home gonna compete with that?
That is just the epitome of Ubisoft can't be bothered with August, so they're just padding the schedule.
Like, no one's bothering. Like, it's a really just shit. Like the last 2 months have been really shit for consoles.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I would argue that from about 2007.
Yeah, but no, especially recent, it's shit all's been going
The
on.
last decade's not been great, let's be perfectly honest.
I mean, is this what we really kind of are buying PS4s and Xbox One S's for? The moment you get... In fact, you can actually buy your Xbox One S on the same day as Ubisoft's Battleship comes out. So you can get your Xbox One S, take it home, and you should just about have space if you get the 2 terabyte version to download and install Ubisoft's Battleship.
Oh my god, I
on
saw
it.
some Ubisoft news. They've
Ooh.
killed someone. Maybe I'll see this.
Are you sure you're not talking about Pokemon Go? Because that's killing people.
No, a professional skier has died filming a
Oh,
trailer
yes. Is this
for
that?
Ubisoft
Is that the?
Steep.
Yeah. Was that Steve?
Yes.
That's now killing people.
Steep has killed more people than Pokemon Go at this point.
My God, who will stop this Ubisoft menace?
Yeah. There's
EA will be our savior.
EA will.
Wait, what cities are Ubisoft based in, and do any of them have strongly
Montreal.
associated superheroes?
France.
What's
and
the
Frenchy
superhero of
kind places.
Montreal?
You know, actually,
Moose
Chris
Man!
Benoit, let's get Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit was the hero of Montreal. That is not a place you want to go. The hero of Montreal, the man they called Benoit.
Oh shit, Montreal has a real life superhero.
Oh my god.
Oh,
His name's Lightstep.
Right? No, that's just a
He's just-
DJ.
He's just a... For the past 2 years, Montreal's had its own superhero. Oh god, yes. What? It's just a bloke wearing leathers and a mask.
Uh-huh.
wow.
Wow.
What's his powers?
But because he's a real life
If he's just wearing
superhero, he
leather
doesn't
gloves,
have any.
apart from being able to survive in really cold temperatures, what's his other?
He has a superhuman ability to not feel socially awkward when everyone's staring at him.
Whoa!
That's pretty much it.
Wow!
He's pepper
Oh, yeah.
spray. He's pepper sprayed
Lightstep.
people in the street brawl in the past.
Why is he wearing Sin Cara's mask?
I don't know, but his
But it's
superpower
literally-
is he owns pepper spray. I don't know if that's even legal in Canada.
Is that is actually Sin Cara's mask?
Yeah, and he wears a GoPro camera, so if he's not kind of currently set, if he doesn't have a YouTube channel, he's missing a trick here.
Was it?
That's. Yeah,
It's like Sin Cara's mask, but like back to front with black instead of white.
yeah. I like that
It's really
Sin
shittily
Cara
made as well.
Oh my goodness, his evening superhero routine is he buys crack pipes and gives them away free to users.
Yeah, that's not a superhero. That's actually a drug dealer with a mask on.
No, it's a method of harm reduction, and he also provides them with first aid kits, needle collection containers, latex gloves, condoms, socks, gloves, and hats.
You know, I'm a fan of this guy as well, because he's like, I'm going to be the Super Hall Montreal Desires and Armored Luchador.
Sorry, did you say...
Who hands out crack
There's
pipes?
something wonderful.
Crack pipes for all!
There's something wonderful about superheroes getting in on, like, the STD game. You're like, about to make sweet love to a lady, and there's just, like, a knock on your window, it's just Batman standing there holding a condom. Remember,
you can't imagine Batman showing up handing out crack pipes, can you?
Like, that's the plot of the next Batman movie. It's just him trying to combat STDs. An accident.
I'm the hero, Gotham.
Hey!
Would you like a crack pipe?
Play safe!
I've got so many. I've got enough crack pipes for everyone.
Trying to combat orally transferred diseases.
This is how he's going to make up for. This is how he's going to make amends for all those people he killed in Batman vs Superman. He's going to go around handing out crack pipes to all the other criminals.
That's it. He's trying to reduce the he's trying to like fix the overpopulation by giving out condoms and killing criminals. Oh fuck off.
Hey kids!
Excellent.
That's the plot. That's everything other thing.
So basically what we're saying is we need Lightstep to go and storm Ubisoft's Montreal headquarters to stop Ubisoft from killing more professional skiers.
Yes, please.
I would read that comic. Lightstep versus Ubisoft.
To be honest, I'd much rather read the one about Batman going around telling people to wrap it up. That's just my favourite. I want that to be the Telltale adventure.
Yeah.
Also, I want
like
the Telltale Adventure to be 60s campy Batman, because that was the best Batman.
It's not going to happen.
I've been watching that recently.
I know, and it was good.
Oh.
It was genuinely funny and charming.
The Telltale game described themselves as dark and gritty. The actual words involve gritty, so...
Okay, I want to point out, right, like, I've been watching 60s Batman pretty regularly recently, and, like, I think yesterday or the day before, I watched the, like, R-rated version of Batman v Superman just after watching like a 60s episode, and the fucking just sheer fucking cliff face that is the tone difference of those two fucking things.
Yeah.
Just
I want campy
depression,
Batman
darkness,
to come back.
Depression.
We've had so much grim Batman. I want you know what? I'm ready for a kind of a moderate defense of Schumacher's Batman. Because I quite enjoyed the campy Batman film.
Oh, you mean that? I thought you were back on
Batman and
skiers again.
No,
Schumacher wasn't a skier.
Okay, no. Can we just say not Schumacher Batman? Can we just say Val Kilmer's Batman? Let's not talk about
guys.
Batman.
What are you arguing about?
What?
Lego Batman's coming.
What? Lego Batman is coming.
Lego Batman's
That's
soon.
true.
But like the whole thing about that is it is like the whole he's trying to be dark, but it's just really silly.
Yeah,
isn't
which
it?
makes it camp.
Like I'm Batman, but I'm
Dead parents.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's satirizing the whole. It's really gritty, which I like. That's what it needs, I think.
Yeah, Lego Batman was brilliant.
I'm very happy. I'm very excited to see the Lego Batman. Although they've taken the actual Lego movie, moved it back like 2 years, and they're rewriting it because it wasn't good enough or something.
I'm just wondering if it's going to work, or is it going to be like Pirates of the Caribbean, where if you say, okay, everyone likes Lego Batman and everyone likes Jack Sparrow, so let's put Jack Sparrow in his home. Oh wait, it was shit because he needs other people around him to support him to do the plot work so he can get on with being silly. Is a film just Lego Batman going to work, or is it going to be like Pirates of the Caribbean 4?
It's going to work, and it's going to work because they give him an incredibly large supporting cast quite quickly. It's just not going to be the same cast from the Lego movie.
Fun.
I hope so, because the whole thing of it was like, who are you? It's like, I'm Batman.
Like the trailer where it's him with what's his face with Albert, very much works because you've got something to go off.
Yeah.
And that trailer featured bat nipples, so
Bat nipples.
Just saying.
Fucking.
I want to watch like a Batman movie now. I like Lego. Yeah, nice.
I do. It's hard. I'm trying to keep up with them, but it's really difficult because there are many other Lego Batman.
Yeah, Lego do a lot. They're
out.
like shitty, like just quickly thrown together sort of things. I assume they're quickly thrown together.
And it's hard to like differentiate this proper one from all the shit
this was just
ones.
called the Lego Batman movie.
I know, but that makes it more difficult. It's like I ran a dream.
Lego Batman. Hey, what did you think of the plot twist? Everyone should now have gone and watched the IRL channel video. What did you think of that plot twist?
I haven't
Did
watched
you
it,
ever
but I'm
figure
assuming
out?
it's the purple fluff.
Did you ever figure out what the purple fluff was from?
No.
Do you still have the purple fluff?
I don't. It vanished.
That's even more
away.
mysterious.
Is it like that? I've watched Star Trek recently. Is it like that, like on that almost last episode of The Next Generation, where that like the ship becomes self-conscious and tries to make this weird little colourful thing that just flies away?
Yeah.
It's just one of those that made itself inside your Rubik's cube and then it flew away.
Interesting. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something. Yeah. It's a fun video. Hey, also, I'd like to just put a very quick shout in for Friday's Dad Cube video. While we're doing video things, because I just want to talk about it.
All right, yeah.
Just because Dad Cube's had a reboot. Oh yeah.
Because he's not doing plays
He's
anymore.
not doing plays anymore. We're gonna do the Sundays of Dad Cubed, which is sort of the plays mixed with Father and Sundays, because he's now taking the channel in a completely different direction. It's just gradually evolved, and now he's just tidied it up, sort of thing. But his video on Friday is my favorite video he's ever done, and it is fucking funny.
You do say that a lot.
Yeah, but this is like genuinely like when he was like, I want to do a reboot. I was like, all right, you gotta bring your A game. But when I saw this first video, I was like, all right, fine, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of new subscribers for this because that shit is. You keep that level up, that's a special level of brilliance. It's about Pokemon Go. It's very funny.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. John, do you have any other gaming news?
Yes. Let's talk about Life is Strange, which has finally done the thing that all episodic games should do, which is the moment you've got more than one episode, make the first episode free and then upsell people into the subsequent episodes.
Oh, yeah.
But which a large number of
why they don't
episodic
do that.
games don't do for Bloody Ages or at all.
Why? Why? It makes so
Sell
much
the first game in the season passes. The moment episode 2 is out, then make episode 1 free and upsell to the season pass. Why would you not do that?
That's what Telltale used to do. I swear that's what they used to do when they had like the Back to the Future game and shit.
It makes me kind of really confused as a person who worked in marketing for years. Like, why are you not doing this? That's like fundamental basics of how you upsell and stuff. You give someone a first bit free if you've got something logical to upsell them to. And in a game that's story-based, like Life is Strange or any of the Telltale games, where the first episode will often end on a sort of cliffhangery thing that leads into the second, why would you ever not do that? But yeah, Life is Strange has finally done it. Life is Strange Episode 1 is now free, so people can try that if they want for free and then decide whether to go for the rest. I personally would recommend it. I think Life is Strange has actually got some very fun storytelling in. I think it's actually very good, especially some of the endings and cliffhangers between episodes.
But you see, it's got a problem, and that's that Eurogamer says on a tweet earlier today that now we have no excuse for not playing it, which made me immediately want to never play it in my life.
But the problem with Life is Strange that I had is I like it. Its storytelling is interesting, but I feel it's a bit too arty-farty in a lot of ways. It's like, look, we're playing nice jingly-jangly music in the back, and they all, oh, look, I'm a teenage girl, I'm an independent... Oh, fuck off. Just
what's the gameplay?
Be gritty or not.
You can skip most of that if you want to.
What's the actual gameplay
No, I
of
don't
it?
want... Okay, the gameplay is...
Time travel puzzles, basically.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how to because you time teleport, which is you can move time around, but you still hold your original position. So therefore, you can move items around within a set space of time. So if you've got like a finite series of events that occur within 60 seconds, you can move yourself around and be anywhere in that scene in that 60 seconds at any point in it, and then you can interact with things to make things go the way you want them to, basically.
The problem with that, though,
it's actually quite
really
clever.
Cool thing. It is, but they only do like 4 puzzles that utilize it across the whole 5 episodes.
I'd like to point out, until this point, I thought it was some sort of high school drama thing. So I'm very confused.
That's the plot.
No,
the plot is high school. Well, the plot's actually kind of interesting because I think it is genuinely a bit of a case of, like, lots of us would like to think that if we had superpowers, we'd do something really monumentally amazing with them. No. But we probably wouldn't. We'd use them for stupid, petty shit in our day-to-day lives, which is exactly what they do in this game, which I actually quite like.
The whole thing that it is high school drama at the start, and that's why I don't know. Like, it's one of those games where I think the first episode being free might be detrimental because at the same time, episode 1 doesn't really do much. It is just high school drama shit, and it gets
episode
really
1 does have the
later
premonition at the lighthouse and ends with how the apocalypse is coming at the end of this week.
Yeah, but,
which is not really. I mean, I don't know what your high school life was like, but mine didn't involve. Hey, there's an apocalypse on Friday.
But episode 3, 4, and 5 starts to get to the really.
I mean, mine was more like there's PE on Friday. Shit, I hate playing rugby. which was bad, but it wasn't as bad as the town being wiped out by a hurricane.
Oh yeah, also she can go back in time. If she looks at a photo, she can go back in time to when the photo was taken.
Oh, good. So it's like Red Dwarf the game. Did she go back to Hitler and steal his briefcase?
But only
and
certain
reveal he's got banana
photos.
and crisps
Only a
out?
very small number of convenient photos. Not all the photos.
Right.
But this is the problem with it. It feels like a game that is like, oh, look at all these cool ideas, but it's really, really linear, and there's only one way to solve everything, and there's very few of these puzzles, and it's a very much like a later Telltale. It
So
feels
is it like
um,
hyper cutscene heavy?
Not
no,
really.
It's hyper. You're sat there with things happening, and you
Oh,
can
yeah.
kind of play, but not really. You know what those kind of like
The
you're
ones I
wandering
have
around, it's not
literally no
really-
interest in. Yes, them ones.
Like it's not really a cutscene, but it would be a cutscene if 10 years ago it would have been a cutscene, but they don't have to do it as a cutscene anymore. Like those kind
It's
of.
got
cutscenes.
some good emotional gut punch moments to it.
Yeah,
Especially
it does some very
at the end of
things.
at the end of episode 2 with Kate, and the end of episode 3 with the alternate universe Chloe.
End of
There's some
episode
good
4
real
with the
gut
space
punches.
Martians. End of episode 5 where Satan himself comes down and beats people to death with his ball
There's-
sack.
That would have been better than what actually happened at the end of episode 5.
Ah.
It reminds me of like what a Star Trek plot might have been,
Don't use those
a lot of
words.
ways.
Nobody knows what Star Trek is anymore.
like the actual time travel stuff. Like it reminds me of something the Next Generation might have done. It kind of seems similar to what the Next Generation did in some points. But if the problem is right, and the reason I went off Telltale Games is not because it is partially because they've just done everything the fucking same and overmilked themselves. But one of the reasons I really like The Walking Dead season, I have to call it season 1 now because there's 3 fucking seasons of it, was that it properly mixed the point-and-click puzzle aspect of the Telltale games with the story thing, and that was what made it interesting, because it was like, oh, it's a standard puzzle game, but it has this really good story. And that was what made it good and unique.
I'll disagree on that point, because I really can't stand that game. I
No, you
just
don't.
can't stand the Telltale approach to point-and-click adventures
know.
that are really...
I know,
I got bored of Walking Dead because I didn't like how po-faced and serious it was about itself, and it wanted to be more serious than I felt it had earned. Like, you know when... I'm sorry, I'm about to spoil bits of episode 1 of The Walking Dead years after it came out. I hope that's okay with everyone. You know at the end of episode 1 when you leave the pharmacy for the first time, and you find your brother's corpse? It's, your brother is a zombie. And you have to, shovel him in the face to get the key. And the game treats it as this incredibly sad thing that your character... I was like, I don't know this guy. I never met him.
Well,
you
yeah.
haven't given me any
Well,
context or any flashback or any
this
race.
is what
I
the
don't
game
give a
does
shit
later.
about spading him in the face. Spade him. Get the key. Hurry up.
Because later there is stuff like that where it genuinely is, you are dealing with characters that...
You see, that's fine if they did that with a character who you'd known for several episodes previously, but they tried to do it. They
No,
did the
they
whole
did too.
emotional heart
The
before.
first episode isn't great.
Yeah.
It
And
gets
I
very good
just
at the
got so
point.
bored I didn't bother with the next episodes because I just thought that
Now,
hasn't
the-
earned doing that.
The big problem with it is it does have some problems in the first episode, but even if you get past them, I can see the reason, you both don't like it, and that's fine, because it does have all these flaws. But, right, it does, in my opinion, probably mix the idea of puzzle, point and click, with story.
No!
It's a nice balance.
No, it doesn't,
I
because
find.
we had point-and-click adventures, and they used to take 50 hours and were boring, but they had fun stories.
No,
Life
like
is
a
Strange
proper,
is fun.
but-
That's what I like about it. It does have a sense of humour.
Yeah.
It's got light-hearted as well as grim and serious.
Well, it does, but regardless of the story, right, it's a proper, whatever. Look, the problem with the new Telltale games is it goes, okay, we'll just focus on story, and fuck the gameplay.
Yeah, I had this problem with the
Essentially.
Minecraft one.
Like, it's just, hey, A or B. It's like, B? Okay.
I will point out that not many people remember that Telltale had some fucking big misfires trying to work their way up to this.
Oh, fuck Telltale.
Like
man.
Jurassic Park. If you ever played that,
Thankfully, no.
oh my god! If you want to play their
Oh, I tried to
worst
play that.
ever
That was
game,
awful.
you should play Jurassic Park because
That
they
was
just
awful. I tried
don't.
to play that.
It's like they're just sort of getting on to what they're doing, and their games weren't great back then. But Jurassic Park was spectacularly bad. Very
Also,
bad.
I'm gonna spoil the end of The Walking Dead season 1 if that's all right with
The
everyone.
girl
Ooh, that's
dies.
a bit more of an extreme spoiler than mine.
The
No,
boy
after-
dies.
Okay,
dunno.
you play as Lee Everett throughout the game. and
Lee
you're taking care
Everett
of Clementine.
dies.
Lee Everett's
Well,
actually
no.
a monster covered with arms and feet.
You have to talk Clementine into killing you,
Clementine
and then
dies.
and then you get transferred into Clementine. And
Clementine's
you have to,
actually a tangerine.
No, it's a very no.
I
'Cause
like
what
that.
you're
That's
saying,
a
John,
good
is
joke.
that if someone
Good joke.
someone you've known throughout the game, you have to kill yourself essentially, and you have to talk this girl who has no one in the world. And it's very.
I
well
really,
acted
really, really,
into
really
killing
hate
you.
it when you've been controlling one character for a thing and then suddenly you switch to another character out of the blue. It threw me out of what Mass Effect did that.
You don't control them. You don't control her.
Wait, when did that happen in Mass Effect?
For a while, in Mass Effect, you just control the pilot. Do you remember that?
You do that for one mission,
Yeah,
like one
and I
brief walk through
really,
the ship.
Really fucking hated that. I was like, what the? What? I was this
No,
guy.
it works
and now
because
I'm
he's
this other
physically
guy.
disabled, so it makes you feel more vulnerable because he doesn't have a gun and he's crippled, so he can't run. He just staggers around because he's a
but it pulls you
crippled
out of it.
pilot.
It's
works
immersion
beautifully
breaking.
because
Yeah, but
it
it
makes you feel so vulnerable.
Yeah, if it was a game where we were leaping between characters, fine. Which is something I'd love to see more of. Because dear God, I'm really.
That is like
Don't do
15
one
seconds in a franchise that's got about 140 hours
was a
across all three games.
Yeah, but that was a bit. When I was playing it, it just went. I'd stop, and I was like flung from the game, going, "Whoa, why the fuck am I this guy? What the fuck's happening?" Not like it when games do that.
You can't complain that you get to play as Seth Green. Getting to play as Seth Green is good.
Is it?
Well, that's
Joker's a
really-
brilliant character and a core
No.
part of the franchise, and literally, he gets the first line in the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting saying that, because going back to The Walking Dead again, when you have to talk this little girl into shooting you in the head, and she's crying and sobbing because she
Can
has
you
no one
not
else.
talk her into it? And
Oh,
then eat her in the face?
You can, but like, because you're turning into a zombie, and it's a case of you have to talk, you have to get it to help you chain you to a thing.
Why?
Or
And
you
then-
could bite her and you could just both be zombie BFFs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
Play
could
video
bite her, but
games
the
in
whole.
a shed with her.
But you very much establish your emotional bond with these two characters because they're very well written and they're very human, and then Clementine walks off, and it's got this really ambiguous ending where she's sat in this field, and there's two silhouettes appear in the distance, and she stands up, and it's kind of like the Inception ending, where it's not you're not sure if he's in the dream or not.
No,
It's like that.
No.
Ah.
It's not the ending of Inception, but carry on.
Whatever. It's like
Inception. Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, Inception. It was her totem. He used her totem, just in case he was in a dream and everybody saw that totem. His actual totem of if he knew he was in a dream or not was if he's wearing his wedding ring or not. So when he's in the real world, he's not
Okay.
wearing it, and if he's in the dream, he's wearing his wedding ring. So that's his totem. He just spins her totem. Her totem is completely useless. He's just using that in case he's in a dream and people are monitoring or something. That's like his.
Thus,
kind of
Michael
his
Caine
totem.
confirmed that actually the totem was going to fall over anyway.
Yeah.
Either way, the way it's filmed, obviously, is to be ambiguous, isn't it, for most of the audience to be like, "Oh, is he in a dream?"
Yeah,
or
unless
not?"
you pay attention
Right?
to see the wedding ring thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you pay attention to the moment. But Walking Dead, in a similar way, the silhouettes appear, she stands up, are they friendly, are they going to kill her or what, and then it cuts, and that's it. And then it ends. And it's really lovely because you're not sure what happens. And they ruined it by going, "Oh, here's season 2, she's fine now, and you're controlling her,
Yeah.
and you have no emotional investment." And it's like, oh.
Except now she's
And
got
they-
a slightly
they keep-
jaded look in her eyes because she killed those motherfuckers.
They keep doing this because they keep going, "Oh, we have a successful thing." Instead of, what often makes things good is you make a successful thing and it's good on its
Yeah.
own. Don't milk
Okay.
it. And that's what they've done with
I'm
Ghostbusters. That's what they've done with
gonna
Independence
very
Day and-
briefly dip into something I don't talk about very much, which is my writing. I don't tend to talk about it because it's kind of my own little personal thing that I do, and I'm quite good at it now. I'm getting quite good. But I've been
It's
writing.
okay, you don't need to tell us what your fanfiction.net account name is.
Oh, I wish I had a fanfiction account. I'd probably release more stuff. But if I was writing a sitcom, a 6-part British style sitcom, and I've been writing it for literally years. Literally years I've been planning and writing this thing, and I do that. I've got so many little writing projects on the go. But you dive in and out of them. And 2 days ago, I realised that this thing, which works as a nice unit, is actually better suited as a film, because at the end of it, there's no real jump-off point to Series 2. Like, it all wraps up, but I'd have to unravel it in such a big way to get a Series 2. I thought, fuck it, if we just make this into a film as a single... Like, if you're making TV, you expect it to break up. You expect it to basically get a second series, and you write for that. Whereas if you write it for a film, when the film ends, that's it. We don't need a sequel. We don't need, Hot Fuzz 2. Just do a film, and then it ends.
Though. Self-enclosed things are really nice,
Yeah.
and when they do a proper good self-enclosed movie, like Ghostbusters 1 should have just been a movie on its own, right? One Ghostbusters movie. Don't do Ghostbusters 2. Don't do this fucking reboot movie. Independence Day movie on its own. You know, there's so many...
Okay, from what I've seen of the trailers, Independence Day 2 looks like it's the most self-aware thing in the universe.
It's self-aware, but I mean, it is and it isn't. Because the problem with Independence Day 2 is Independence Day 1, in a lot of ways, and this is the problem with the Ghostbusters, the new one as well, in that they had very specific tones.
Yeah.
There was this dark, serious kind of horror undertone to both of them.
Yeah.
Which is overdone by this silliness. And the idea, you didn't ever see the aliens in Independence Day 1, and, you end up seeing them right at the end. But in this, it's just like, oh, they're here, they're obvious, here's the alien queen, she's got a mech suit for some reason.
It looked weirdly like Starship Troopers to me.
I mean, yeah, but it was just it was Starship Troopers, but not funny.
I love Starship Troopers. That's a great film. I don't want to watch that again now.
But it's like there's so many. I wish people wouldn't make sequels to things. I understand their reasoning because it's popular and they will make money. Because always a sequel to something popular will make money. But a lot of the time, it's the same with the Walking Dead game. But creatively, narratively, it's better to just have one because they work better as a single entity. Like
unless you made it to be a trilogy all along.
Yeah, unless you made it to be a trilogy. Like The Matrix. I mean, people say The Matrix 2 and 3 aren't very good, but at the end of the day, it was written to be 3 movies.
Was it?
Because I feel like Matrix works perfectly well on its
I'd say the Matrix 1 works. I mean, you don't just get 2, because 2 and 3 were literally shot together.
Yeah.
Because I don't think 2 and 3 really add anything back into 1, which is the mark of a good, well-planned trilogy.
No, 1 works on its own, but I mean, if you want to get the whole story, watch the trilogy. That's the thing, isn't it?
No, again, I don't really think that 2 and 3 really expand on the backstory or anything. I mean, they had the architect and weird shit like that, but I think 1 by itself with that ending is beautiful. I just think that, I don't know, there's some movies that work well. Like Back to the Future, not planned as a trilogy, but absolutely works as a trilogy.
Yes, completely.
Ties in nicely. He reshoots the start of the end of the first one and the second one, so they introduced a new character.
Because I think the whole point of the end of Back to the Future 1, it wasn't to be sequel bait. It was like, oh, they're going on more adventures, yay, and that was it,
Yeah.
And they capitalized on that, and it's hard to, because I'm looking at my movie library now, and something you could imagine something like John Wick.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Should never have a fucking sequel.
The sequel's being shot right now in Shanghai.
Fuck John Wick 2.
No, I will say that the John Wick sequel appears to be a prequel about his days in the Hitman sort of thing.
That's
so he's at sort of the top of his form. I doubt it's him being pulled back in again. That's where his story ended there. So now we're going to see things. However, what that does is that sets up, we know he's not going to die.
Terminator 3.
I've never seen it.
Is it the original cinematic Terminator with the Terminatrix?
The Terminatrix.
Yeah,
with the power to make her boobs bigger.
That one. Actually, all the Terminator movies after Terminator
Classic 2. Terminator.
It's one of those things where Terminator 2 wrapped it all up, and it was like, and it was like, okay, it's really popular, let's release another one. And then another one, because this franchise is worth money.
Terminator's got really confusing, though, because they started retconning each other, but then films that were really shit and would subsequently go on to be retconned previous films.
Oh, awful.
Because was it... which one was it? One of them, I think Salvation pretended Terminator 3 had never existed, but then Salvation kind of... Sarah Connor Chronicles then didn't acknowledge both of them, and then, oh bloody hell, I don't know what is or isn't. And then, of course, now they've completely wiped out everything, including 1 and 2. God only knows what the current canon is for Terminator.
Because he shoots Arnie from Terminator 1 after he just gets...
So I don't even know, presumably now, technically, if they genuinely are supposed to be part of one continuity, literally the only film that's canon is Genesis. Which is weird, because that's one of the shittest ones.
Well, this is the problem, right? Sequels...
No. I feel like Terminator has a much bigger problem, and that is not understanding time travel while writing time travel.
No, but regardless of that, it is the case of... It's most sequels are money over creative.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they just announced that the Tetris movie is going to be a trilogy, so that's being planned in advance.
Sorry, there's a Tetris movie?
Yes.
No, there's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them.
What?
When they said we're making a Tetris movie, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, because the story of Tetris is really amazing. With what's-his-face in fucking communist Russia building a game and not being able to make any money off it to start. That's a really
you meant the actual creation of Tetris?
Yeah, but no, this is a sci-fi adventure film, and it's in 3 parts. It's being planned as a trilogy.
About, actual the game Tetris.
I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, they made a film of Battleship, of course.
The Sims?
Which had
Okay.
Rihanna in it.
The filmmaker, they made Mortal Kombat, the movie.
Good. Well, that wasn't...
Wait, was that the one...
No.
No, I'm thinking of Dead or Alive right now.
They
There've
have
been
an
actually a
executive
few
producer
Mortal
credit on
Kombat
True
films, haven't
Lies.
there?
There was a
trying to
Sims
remember which
movie
ones.
in production, I remember.
They're
a
all
long
blurring
time
into
ago.
one. Which is the one with Holly Valance? Was that the Dead or Alive film?
There was a
Christ, I'm trying-
Sims movie planned for 2012, but it's gone dark. Good.
Okay, I'm just looking at the credits of this guy. His directing credits are he has one directing credit, one proper one. I mean, he could have documentary and like a back that. His one directing credit is a movie called Food Fight, starring Charlie Sheen, Eva Longoria Parker, and Hilary Duff in a terrible animated
Yeah,
adventure.
food. Have you not? If you've never seen the animation
Oh, it's
quality
that
Food
one!
Fight, check that out now.
It's fucking that one. Oh my fucking god, it's that one. Yeah, this is the guy who's making this Tetris movie. Same guy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good. Then it's gonna be good
He's
stuff.
producing it, and he also produced a lot of most of the Mortal Kombat movies and TV shows. True Lies, the Arnie movie.
I thought of a movie trilogy that was planned as a trilogy.
Oh,
The Lord of the Rings.
okay, fine. Lord of the
That's
Rings.
true. Yeah.
Although that was 3 books, though.
And
that
of course,
might
you know,
count.
Star Wars. But...
You know what Star Wars? So Star Wars and
What about The
Star Wars
Godfather?
sort
I've
of works.
literally never seen The Godfather, so I wouldn't know.
Godfather, to me, it's kind of got the vibe of it's kind of the Matrix of in the way it does a trilogy. In that, you know, if you look at them, all 3 of them, and go, yeah, but you know, the Godfather 1 kind of works its own as well.
Yeah.
You know,
The Bourne films are definitely a pre-planned trilogy.
Bourne. Yeah, well now there's 5 of them.
Yes, well, that's why we have shitty sequels that just gets added onto things.
Didn't one of them have a different Bourne or something?
Yeah, no, Bourne Legacy stars Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye.
But was he Bourne or was he a different
No,
Bourne?
he wasn't
Or
playing
was he
Bourne.
Bourne
He was
again?
It was
No,
set
he wasn't
during
playing
one
Bourne.
of the Bourne films.
Was
and
he
doing
Bourne
something.
again?
No, yeah,
Okay.
he was.
Acknowledge the joke.
No, shut up. He was basically playing an agent who something to do with Bourne. He isn't Bourne, but it's like Bourne is doing something, and he's like, oh no, I haven't watched it.
He's like,
They should have
"Oh."
Jason
know.
Bourne's brother, whose name is Christian, be in the next Bourne
See,
film.
right, okay, for a good...
Then they could actually have it just be called Born Again Christian, and that would be amazing.
Oh my god.
Fuck off, John.
That would be
A
brilliant.
great look at a sequel...
Somebody make that.
A great film series to look at for sequels is Die Hard, because Die Hard 2 is the carbon copy but not as good sequel. Die Hard 3 is the we are actually going to try something entirely different but in the same tone, and it works incredibly well apart from the end bit, trilogy, like the third one in the film. Then you got Die Hard 4, which was, hey, we're doing a modern version of it, but we're actually going to try and stay true to the tone, which kind of works. And then there's Die Hard 5, which is apocalyptically trash.
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of a trilogy that wasn't originally envisioned as a trilogy, but still works perfectly as a trilogy, where the subsequent ones add back into the original.
Spider-Man!
Go on.
Toy Story.
That is not a trilogy, there's 4 of them.
Wait, there's no 4th yet.
They're
Doesn't
making a
count.
4th one.
Yeah, but...
It does count.
Yeah, well, it doesn't exist yet, so there's only 3.
I like
Yeah, but
the
you've
plot.
got
The
it-
4th one is apparently going to be a rom-com prequel with Woody and Bo Peep.
Intriguing.
Yeah, that made
See,
me happy. When I
To
heard
me, right, I like singular, self-encompassed, sort of like nice, well-done things.
that. Yeah, like Mad Max. Oh, Mad Max
And-
had a trilogy.
Well,
I
the
don't know,
original Mad
yeah.
Max, I guess, had a trilogy, but the new Mad Max seems to be its own one
Yeah.
thing. And it's the same way, you know, I think Independence Day is very good just as its own movie. And, you know, you look at the Cornetto trilogy, I mean, it's not a trilogy.
That is the
it,
kind
though?
of stuff that I would like to make in my stuff. Which is you
You know,
make
the Cornetto
3
the-
films that are... They have their own style, and that's pretty much it.
Mm.
They've got style, but they're all 3 incredibly and wildly different films, and then you're just
Exactly.
basically every time making something brand new. But
They're unique
yeah,
things.
but the fans know that they're getting into something that's kind of like the thing that they previously liked.
And then you look at something like Castaway, The Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, the excellent singular self-encompassed little movies. I wouldn't call them little movies, but no, Kingsman, great movie.
Oh, great! I love
thing.
that film.
Just Scott Pilgrim. Just make one thing. Just make one thing and make it really good, and then don't touch it again, please.
So they are making Kingsman 2 right now.
God, fuck them all.
Colin Farrell's back alive in it.
Fuck them all.
Is
Fuck
it a
them so
prequel? I
hard.
haven't actually seen any details.
Sequel. He's just didn't die.
Fuck them so hard.
How is he alive
Fuck
again
off.
then?
Sci-fi.
Fuck off. No, fuck off.
Do they have a
though.
magic bring them
No.
back from the dead
No,
thing in that
fuck
shot?
off. No, fuck off, both of you. Fuck you both. I hate you. Fuck
We're
you.
not actually making the film.
No, you've talked about it and you've made
I
me
would
realise.
like to say
and
though
that's sad.
that to wrap this episode up because we've gone past 10 o'clock. The
Oh no.
the new Star Trek trilogy just finished. With Star Trek Beyond, which, from what I can tell, is the worst film ever made.
It looks pretty dreadful.
The reviews have said
interesting, though,
it's very close to Roddenberry's original vision, which makes me think that they have no idea what Roddenberry's
heard that a
original
lot.
vision is.
I've heard that a lot. I've heard, it fit the original theme. I'm like, what? How?
Yeah,
I like the fact that it was full of explosions.
I'd like to point out that my favourite my favourite Star Trek is the stuff that Roddenberry wasn't a huge fan of, like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine.
I like Next
Everyone
Generation.
likes Next Generation. That defines Star Trek. Star Trek's a weird monkey because it was like it came out and then like we had original series and then there were 5 films and an animated series across 25 years and then 18 years solid of TV Star Trek. I found that quite
Well, Netflix just announced the Star Trek.
No, that's the one that is already being made for CBS in America, but Netflix UK is getting it, so we don't have to buy a shitty subscription service.
God.
Would
Like,
it be?
You've never actually liked any of the Star Trek movies.
Someone in the chat said, "Is
Oh,
Dan
come on.
dissing Simon Pegg since he wrote Beyond?" Yep.
Yeah.
Like Simon Pegg is a great writer because he co-writes the Cornetto trilogy. He co-wrote The World's End, Hot Fuzz, and Shaun of the Dead with Edgar Wright. But he from what his comments are that they de-Star Trek quite a lot of his thing. And to be perfectly honest, one of the trailers for Star Trek Beyond literally reveals the final twist of the film. So thanks for that. That's really, really good. But another one shows... I mean, because every single bit of that film is shown off. From what I can tell... This is just from what the trailers have shown, but they go off, we're going to go on a mission. They get attacked by this swarm of Deus Ex Machina. They crash on a planet. They escape the planet using an old ship that they found that looks like an NX-01. And then they've got some sort of weapon to take out. At some point, they develop a weapon to take out this Deus Ex weapon. Because there is a scene with what looks like an NX-01, which is Archer's sort of style Enterprise, basically surfing up this huge wave of these nano things in space as it all explodes behind them. And I'm like, no, that's what Roddenberry wanted from Star Trek.
Yeah, I've just looked at an image and it does look like a JJ-ified NX-01, basically.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's not quite as bad as Superman versus Batman for spoiling the entire film in the trailer, but it feels close.
It's called the USS Franklin, apparently. You know, it really annoys me, the JJ verse, because the problem is, in canon, all the stuff that happened in Enterprise still happened in the JJ verse.
Yep.
Like, all of Enterprise is still canon.
Yeah.
Even though they erased the original series and everything else, they still have to, but they don't.
Yep.
At least have, come on.
Bring back the temporal Cold War.
You know what? The Temporal Cold War would have been fucking interesting if they didn't cancel it.
It would have been more interesting than swarm of robots that are just going to tear a shit apart again.
I feel bad for Enterprise, because Enterprise was kind of shit at the start. When it finally got on its feet, everyone would have stopped watching.
Well, aside from the fact that every time they did a time travel episode, they always conveniently time traveled to about the same point in history into a slightly decrepit urban environment because that was cheaper to film. They always time travel to the same thing.
Have you seen that Star Trek 4 has been announced and that Kirk's dad is coming back? Basically, the only good bit of JJ's Star Trek trilogy was the opening 15 minutes of the first one with Kirk's dad. Because that was what big budget Star Trek could have been. So the fourth one is most likely going to involve time travel, which means that the first 4 Star Trek films are now being mirrored by the new ones. Because you had the first one, which was let's go on our mission and get everyone together. Then you had Wrath of Khan. Now you've had the Enterprises being destroyed. Next up, time travel. I want the whales. I'm looking forward to the one with the whales again. And then they're going to move on to a new crew, and I'm excited for that.
Maybe that's what those things are in the thing. Maybe they're little metal space whales.
Yeah.
Metal space whales.
Yeah, metal
Didn't they
space
have
whales.
didn't they have actual big space whale things at one point.
Yes.
In episode,
Also,
next
since the episode where they have to get the whale song, etc., every single Enterprise-size sort of ship in Starfleet, in fact, most Starfleet ships have a whale deck. They have a deck that has whales in a tank in it, according to the official blueprint.
well, it was like 5 decks worth of tanks.
Quite a lot. That's quite a lot of whale tank.
I mean, it's a big. The ship's like a fucking mile and a half long, isn't it?
They're pretty big ships,
ridiculous.
And that's why the Borg was. I mean, literally, right? Yesterday, I watched Q Who, which is the episode where Q flings them off 7,000 light years away, and then they meet the Borg for the first time. And that episode is literally we meet the Borg for the first time, and there's like one small battle when they're sort of locked and don't move, and there's a bit of a phaser thing at one point. And that's it. And it's the most tense, exhilarating episode of anything ever. And I feel like that's what Star Trek combat should be. Because basically, they get free of the tractor beam, but instead of running away, they're like, alright, let's go have a meeting, let's discuss our options. Everyone's like, let's discuss our options.
It's diplomatic, it's democratic, it's talky.
Yeah, whereas this is like,
it's
let's
the
high
card.
five and, Uhura. What the fuck's the point of Uhura? By the way, just to put this out there, in the new stuff, what's the point of Uhura apart from being Spock's girlfriend? Which, incidentally,
she can translate things.
Because
she can translate
things. If
the
original Spock had gone to the original Uhura and gone, hey, let's bang, she would have ripped his fucking throat out. That's what I loved about Uhura. She would have gone, no, go fuck yourself forever. And in this one, she's like, oh, I'm the lady.
No. Occasionally, the radio will go like beep, 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 and she'll push a button on the radio, and the radio will go like whoop, 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 whoop. But she's like, oh, I recognise that. That's Romulan, but like South Romulan. I can translate it. And it means go left because you're about to be hit by a missile, and they veer left, and the missile goes boom, and it just misses them, and she saves the day. And everyone's like, oh, well done. And then they get medals.
Yeah, that's how it goes down.
That should be in the new one. That'd be way better. Whatever's in the new one, what I just described would have been better.
Yeah.
Oh, just the tone, isn't it? It's all about
tone. Because it's just, because Deep Space, they all have different tone, really. Next Generation, Original Series, Voyager's.
Well, they
Deep
do,
Space,
but
they're all different.
They all have different tone,
but they are all in the same universe with the same rules. Whereas the new one is all physics and explosions and death-defying stunts and bollocks.
It's modern movie audience. It's very much, hey, sit down in the cinema, take your dick out, have a wank over it, and then go home. No, that's all they are.
That's not what I do when I go to the cinema, Matt.
It's more...
Save it for the back alley.
That is more cinema for the attention deficit disorder people in the audience. Is what a lot of cinemas are going. But then again, every now and then we get a beautiful bit of cinema that comes out that isn't like that. Like the most recent Godzilla film, which is fucking spectacular. The most recent Godzilla film
it doesn't show the monster.
So fucking good. Godzilla's in it for literally like 9 minutes of screen time, but teased for over an hour.
It's like Cloverfield, isn't it? It's like what Cloverfield.
No, it's better than Cloverfield because
it's better
as soon as the first battle, as soon as you get that beautiful reveal in the airport, which is one of my favourite bits of cinema ever, they cut away from it and you don't see it, and then the monster's fucked off again. And they tease and they tease and they tease until you're like, I really want to see Godzilla now. And then everything gets sort of revealed at the end. But it's a beautiful, slow-paced, smart... It's not that smart movie. It's just a brilliant movie. It shows that a slow movie that takes its time and doesn't have an explosion every 5 seconds can still be fucking exceptional.
Yeah, the problem is it doesn't get people fucking in the cinema to watch them.
I thought Godzilla did really well.
Did Godzilla do really well? But I mean, for the most part, they don't.
Yeah, because
that's why they do these big explosions, because it gets people in.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you've got the new Star Trek. Like, I do not give a shit when someone's fighting CGI. Oh, there's a million things coming at us. Who gives a fuck? Because you can't kill a million things. A million things will be destroyed by Deus Ex Machina or something you've hopefully cleverly worked into the plot. But it's got to kill all of them immediately and instantly. That's why a Dalek is terrifying. A fleet of Daleks is a nuisance. That's the difference.
Hey, Chekhov, what have you got over there? Oh, this is my 1,000,000 bullet gun.
He's been working on...
I will put it over here. Maybe we will need it later.
Yeah. I
I
enjoyed
sure
the Chekhov's
not.
gun reference. Hold on. Yeah.
I was so good. Excellent.
I'll hang this above the door. Yeah, just fires the shot every time. It's really, it's that sort of Yeah, I mean they always.
If they actually at some point do actually do a Chekhov's gun joke in flipping Star Trek, that's it. I'm sold.
Going to be a lot more difficult now considering the bloke.
If he has a special gun in the third one that he mentions early on, and then it saves the day
that
at
is
the
the
end.
only way they can do it. They won't be able to get him in the fourth one.
Yeah,
that's a shame. That was a weird thing because they're kind of discussing today. They're like, oh, we don't know how we're going to deal with this. I'm like, give him his own ship. Yeah, he went off on his own ship. If you kill him off screen, that's just shitty.
Yeah, that is. Really,
Unless, of course,
it will
do it in a nice way, like they did with General Hammond, where General Hammond dies off screen just of probably being a bit fat, and then they give him the ship and name it after him, and then they blow it up because Star Trek.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking on where I got all the Star Trek models.
Where did you get those from? Some of them are really fucking nice. Like,
it's a magazine. It was a magazine subscription. Eagle Moss. They do like a magazine. You can buy them actually on their own on their site. But I'm just looking at getting some because I cancelled it and I missed a couple. They have a special edition one, which is just the NX-01 refit that was meant to happen in like season 5, 6 of Enterprise, which is the one that looks more like the original Enterprise.
I really want. You've got one that I really super desperately dig God want, which is the
what?
The Galaxy class with the third nacelle.
That was a bonus for pre-ordering.
Oh God, that is my favourite Star Trek ship because that's just got so much. Because when that thing appears, that is the best episode of Star Trek. It's also the last episode of Next Generation as well, isn't it?
It was the last episode.
Yeah, but when you've got that, and when that thing just flies up, but it doesn't just fly, it literally flies up through the frame and detonates some shit. It's just the best thing. Oh, it's the best thing.
I think I'm looking actually. What do you get? You get if you subscribe, you get things like if you keep subscribing, you get like these.
But the problem is that
bonuses
there's a lot of
for
ships
subscribing,
that I just don't give a fuck about.
Well, the early one. This is the problem I had. Like the early ones in this collection, I'm browsing them because I missed a couple. Like the early ones were good, and then they realized, wait, we have to space these out because otherwise people will cancel. Because they did the Enterprise D, and then the original Enterprise refit, and then a Bird of Prey, and then the NX-01, and the Romulan Warbird, and then they went shit. And then they sort of started doing like the Bajoran Solar Sailor thing is really nice, but then you've got ones like the fucking the USS Thunderchild.
Dun dun dun. Da 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 da. Bum, bum, bum,
The Jem'Hadar fighter.
Sorry, Thunderchild. No.
A Nausicaan fighter. I don't even think I've ever seen a Nausicaan fighter.
Oh, they've got. I'm looking through the
just
list
go to
now.
Nautica. It's lovely in summer.
I'm looking at the. They've got some really ships. I don't even know what the fuck that is. They've got the horrible things like the Borg Tactical Cube, which is Voyager ruined the Borg. Nice? Can we just say that as a Star Trek thing?
They did.
Well, the
yeah.
Borg are a brilliant thing because they all think amongst themselves. Oh, they have a queen. That doesn't make sense.
I really like this as well because when I was you get like a magazine with them, and all the magazine is how they designed the ship in like both canon and in like production, and they have like photos of the models and how it was used and who used it in what episodes. It's quite good. I liked it. It's one of the only subscription magazines I actually go.
Oh shit! Apparently, doing an Enterprise Model J is going to be coming out. Model J.
I do have a discount code for you if you want to use it.
I might do. But I don't. You see, I just want to buy a model of that ship. I'm just going to buy the model of that ship.
Oh, not that one. You can't wait. Not that the 3 nacelle one. You can't. It's the only one you can't.
Make your own as happy and mashing.
No. It's literally my wallpaper. That ship. Like that's how much I love that ship.
I mean, I could give you my one.
No. I earn my own things. I'm trying to spell the word nacelle to find it on eBay.
I want to buy all the Enterprises because I've only got the Enterprise. I really just started talking about Star Trek now.
Yeah, well, we're actually enjoying like the ships and the what. I mean, right? This is actually. Let's go back to the film. This is an issue I have with the films is that the characters have not been established at all, and you only really know about the characters based on how you knew them before. Like Kirk and Spock in these films, like Kirk got the most of it. Spock's really got nothing, but he's popular because Spock originally was popular. But he doesn't really have any of that stuff. Like, I mean, they fucking wipe out his own world and his mom and his dad and his girlfriend. His left testicle gets ripped off by a dog. And he just doesn't give a shit because he's fine. But that's just a thing.
At one point, he yells angrily.
Yeah, and at one point, yeah.
Then he's
fine
again.
At one point, he yells, Khan. Which, in the Wrath of Khan, Kirk yells Khan because Khan's actually on the phone to him still, so that's him screaming at Khan, going basically, you massive fucking prick. But that's to sell the idea that he's defeated him when actually he's got it all planned. It's actually making Khan, like, luring Khan into a sense of, like, yeah, I'm fucking winning. Whereas in this one, he just shouts Khan. That's why I don't fucking give a shit about... Actually, you know what? I'm done talking about shitty Star Trek. Because I get so
It's just like, hey, nostalgia.
Fucking pissed off at the new Star Trek. It just makes me just so... It's just so missing the point, and it's so missing... Like, I have, again, with the writing, I've got a Star Trek TV series done. Like, if they went to me tomorrow, hey, write a Star Trek TV series, we need to start shooting in a month, I'd be like, alright, I'll be there.
How many TV series? If the BBC just came up to you with a blank check, how many TV series do you actually have ready to go to start making tomorrow?
Oh, well, I'd say I never consider my scripts to be finished, which is why I never release anything. It's the only thing that I don't do that to. Like, everything else I'll just fire out. YouTube videos, games and stuff, whatever. But writing is the thing that I want to be good at.
You'll sort them out. Good,
but
good
I could probably launch 3 sitcoms, a series of Doctor Who, and if they got the rights, I could do Star Trek. Plus 2 TV movies that I have planned as well.
No!
Sorry. And that would just be, like, ready to go, yeah. So, a few things.
I think we should finish up. We've been going a lot longer than we
Yeah.
Yeah, we never do the 2 hours thing. Never worked.
I got ranting about Star Trek.
I have 2 final things. A, if you're in the UK, all of Star Trek is on Netflix. Watch it.
It's the HD redos as well, which I super love.
Yeah.
Including Enterprise?
Including Enterprise.
Yeah, including Enterprise. Including Enterprise. The Star Trek movies, I think, are all on Now TV.
Ooh.
If you got Now TV, like the 5 people who do.
Oh shit, I think I forgot to cancel that. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, isn't it? Oh no, I didn't cancel that after Game of Thrones finished. Whoops. And then if you want nice Star Trek models, you can also make nice ones. They're the ones I've got in my Twitter pictures.
And if you know of anywhere that sells a nice Enterprise J or Galaxy Class 3 variant with the 3rd nacelle, just send me a Twitter tweet thing. Twitter tweet thing. I'm down with the kids.
Twitter tweet. Send her a Twitter tweet.
I'm down with them kids.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, someone says talk about the WWE draft.
Oh.
Yeah, it happened.
No.
So, that was the Nerd³ podcast. He's literally the whole time in that Twitch chat. Poor bastard. I do apologise. Hey, I have a wrestling podcast, and on Monday, I'll be talking about that. So, what?
Some people were yelling about Hitman. We never got to that. I'm going to put something about Hitman on later tonight in about probably half an hour or something. I'm looking at the summer episode.
We can talk about that next week.
Let's talk about Gary Busey being in Hitman. Let's talk about that.
Let's not. Well, no. Gary Busey isn't.
Oh, goodbye! Goodbye!
Goodbye! Next week, we'll be talking about Just Rebels for 2 hours.
Electrode, Nicta, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Spearow, Pidgey, Seeking, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, Butterfree! I don't know what the second half of that one is. Oh, God. I'm going to figure it out. As soon as the second half begins, I will figure out what it is, because I remember these. Somewhere in the back of my memory, I know these. Nidorina, Golduck, Ivysaur, Grimer, Victreebel, Moltres, Nidoking, Farfetch'd, Abro, Jigglypuff, Rhyhorn, Clefable, Wigglytuff. Yes! Yes! I remember these! My brain considered that important enough to file away somewhere important.